I turned it on. I think I turned it on this time.
I see.
I think we have it.
You're there.
We're there. Hello, everyone. Hi. Sorry about that extended delay. Fucking. It's great. Last minute changes and everything, but you're gonna want to stick around and see what we have in store here. We've been hard at work at Panorama, but we have a bunch of different branches. So what we were doing is rebasing everything on top of each other and fixing literally everything last minute. So very fun. Unprepared, but we'll prepare better next time. Sorry about the 5-minute wait turning into a 25-minute wait. But we're here. Hi, my name is Goknak. You guys can hear me now compared to the last one. I made sure to click the button. I did the thing. I'm the lead dev of Momentum Mod. Happy to be here to talk about all the exciting questions that you may have that you've asked us in our Discord over in the link down below. We don't have a bot yet, otherwise !Discord. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and go down the list. Everybody can introduce themselves, starting with the Discord list here. And yeah, we'll get into it.
Who's on first?
I think that starts with Ox, but he might be AFK. Oh no, he's in.
Sorry. Yes. Hi.
You can introduce yourself.
Hi. I'm Orcs. I make maps. Supposedly, I'm also the mapping lead. However, that's kind of to be done since campaign work is a little bit delayed. So, hello.
And I guess next is me. I'm Bray. I do mainly just programming stuff, but kind of all over the place.
Hi, I'm False. I do 3D art stuff. I've done the rocket jump and secret jump view models. And I'm also, similarly to Ox, a mapping lead for the campaign, but that's hasn't quite started yet. So
For the jump campaign, yep.
for the jump campaign, yeah.
Hi, I'm Tom. I'm the lead button stylist right now. And then I do coding UI work, and then I do story and texture design and other stuff, and yeah, whatever. Let's go. It's you.
No, I already went. Hex is up next.
Oh,
Hi, I'm Hex. I make maps and type
issues.
and make issues. Lead note taker.
Also,
yeah.
internal QA stuff. Yeah.
We also have Vortex here, who doesn't have a mic currently, but he also does a lot of awesome particle and weapon model animations and effects. So the really cool Conc, for example, the Conc view model, if you guys like that, you're going to see more of it later later today. But yeah.
I'm Zofa. I act as the production designer and a little bit of the art director. I'm mostly the creative head when it comes to the campaign. But I also act as a 3D artist. I do textures and models, mostly environment art.
Cool. All right. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into our first question here.
Our first question is by Cawu asking, what's up with the achievement or milestone or temporal task system? Are we looking at something map-specific sort of achievements? How about the branching tree-esque system for milestones?
All right. Cool. So I'm going to take this one because we're going to try a little bit of a different format for questions like these where it requires a lot of information. So I'm going to swap over to this. Hopefully this works. So the three systems that we're going to have in place here are going to be achievements, challenges, and the temporal task system. If you guys haven't read the forum post that I made, I believe one of our mods can get the link to that. I made a forum post about kind of the idea of these systems, and these are all obviously work in progress, but some of these are a little more solidified in their purpose. So we're going to start off with achievements on the left here. So achievements, when you play the game, right? These are just kind of, they're Steam achievements, right? They're fun, explore the game things to do. We don't really want to have, I guess, like terminology conflict between Steam achievements and like in-game achievement things. So we're just equating them to be Steam achievements. The idea really is that you're kind of doing fun stuff throughout the game, but they're effectively meaningless. You can unlock them. In fact, this photo you can see on the left, some people have already Steam unlocked these achievements. It doesn't matter. They're just fun tasks to try to do for the completionists. But and to answer the question there aren't map specific achievements because in a continuously updating kind of user generated content game, you can't really do that. Especially if we make one and maybe the map goes down or has to be removed or something, then yeah, it's kind of annoying to like remove the achievement or reset back. So the only map specific ones are mainly going to be in the campaign. So beating the campaign, playing campaign, the different campaigns and stuff like that. But overall, right, they're just kind of more of a collector sort of thing that you can try to go for. The second category here is challenges. So this is probably going to be the main focus for a lot of people that are doing more of a progression based approach to the game. Keep in mind that achievements in Momentum Mod are going to be what you're doing. So if you get a really good time, that's an achievement, right? Like you should feel good about that. Your rank, your rank points that you have, that is in and of itself an achievement, and that should be kind of promoted more. But the traditional achievements that like is on UX and stuff like that show the word achievement will be Steam achievements. So kind of just disassociating those two, right? But challenges here focuses more on your progress, right? So if you played Modern Warfare 2, not everybody has. I mean, probably the more modern Call of Duties also have this. The way that challenges worked in that game is it was basically tied per gun, also game mode that you played, and when you beat them, you would get XP for it, so you'd level up, and also you would get skins. So for example, if you would do headshots or something, you would get a skin for that gun. So we're kind of the same here, right? We want these to be these permanently unlocked, set in stone. The moment you boot up the game, you can go after these challenges at any time, it's just permanently there. There's no time association with it. It's more progress based. So playing the game, doing more of a specific game mode. And so for the reward there, right, we're going to be tracking it, rewarding cosmetic XP for it, maybe even unlocking some exclusive cosmetics, some exclusive models or skins, things like that, that we want to try to do. Maybe not skins, but more of like, things related to the game mode that you can display, right? This kind of ties in, again, the cosmetic system being something that we want to give value to. It can't be just a local, like just only a model. It has to be something that it shows for other players because that gives it value. So it can unlock these exclusive cosmetics that let you represent the game mode that you're kind of progressing and doing these challenges in. You can kind of consider these almost like milestones too. That's another common term for it, but I prefer the term challenge because it's more geared towards actually completing and doing specific things for game modes. The idea is that they're specifically game mode things. So you'll have maybe on the site and in game you'll have UX and UI that will show you your progress in the overall game mode along with the challenges that you're doing for all of them. And they'll never really be very, very specific, like, ooh, beat Surf Omnific in 5 minutes, or something like that, right? Like, we're not going to do anything like that. They're going to be more kind of, for example, like beat 1 and then beat 10 and then beat 25 and then beat 50 tier 3 surf maps, for example, right? Just a concrete example there. So just showing your progression through each of the difficulties, through each of the game modes, it can really just reward a lot of people just trying the different aspects of the game, right? We can even have some for beating bonus tracks too, right? So just rewarding people for playing and completing. Now keep in mind, we can't do a challenge that is like beat all, right? Like we can't do beat all tier 3 surf maps because the moment that we add another one, that challenge becomes null. And like, how do you like do you take back the XP? Do you lock the cosmetic? I don't like that approach. I think having things that are just showing your progress on top of the percent completion and your rank points and your level, right? Having something that's like these goals to try to go for, even if you can't go for things like group 5, group 4, right? World record. Not everybody's going to be able to get to that level instantaneously, but people can beat maps, right? And that can be rewarded here. So that's kind of what the challenges are going to be focusing on. And then, yeah, I mean, the thing that this can be very useful for is urging players to play modes they never have like thought about trying, right? They go and see the challenges. They got all of the surf challenges, but then they see all of the other 9 modes that are locked, or the challenges that are, you know, incomplete, in these other modes, and they're like, hey, I'll try out Conc, or I'll plug my nose and do some bunny hop or something, stuff like that. There's a lot of like promotion for the reason why Momentum exists, right? Which is that centralized platform. We want people to explore it. So having people come in on modes that they know and love, like surf, bunny hop, and they get these challenges, and then they they go and see the challenges for the other modes, and they're like, hey, I'll try to do some of these, right? I'll try to beat some tier 1, Conc maps and stuff. So so that's the idea with challenges. It's just kind of these permanent things that you can try to go for if you're not going for the sickest, fastest times on these maps, right? Which is also the ultimate goal, if you think about it, right? Like the ultimate goal of playing any custom map, right, in Momentum Mod is to beat it as fast as possible. But some players aren't going to be able to do that at first, or maybe even at all. So we want to be able to reward those players for still playing the game, and that's what challenges are going to be doing here. So the last column here is going to be the temporal task system. So you really have to think, all right, challenges are there. They're kind of boring. They're kind of stale, right? If you think about it, they're things that just stay there and they're just progress, right? So what could promote players to come back every day, every week, and every month? We don't want to create addictive services, right? We're not making money off of you playing Momentum Mod, right? But we want to entice people to come back and play. We want to give a reason to try to like play a different thing. So these temporal tasks are just kind of these they're just small tasks that you can do. Absolutely, they're map specific, right? So these are the map specific achievements, if you will. These are, they could even be stage specific, right? So there's maybe even like beat like a particular bonus, beat a particular individual stage, right? Beat stage 14 on Omnific in under like 2 minutes or something, like something like that, where it's like we're promoting grinding a specific subset of the game. But also giving players the ability to just explore the game in the appropriate size chunks they want to. So some players will be playing every day, right? So they're trying to get all of these like tasks done. It's just something to try, right? It gives them something to go for. These tasks, by the way, depending on what temporal, like what time, right, they're in. So if they're daily, most likely just going to be cosmetic XP. Just little XP drops that you can do from playing the game and doing various things in them. But the bigger ones, the week-long and month-long, and maybe even seasonal, which we're gonna have seasons, right? Rotational leaderboards and maybe themed seasons. Those will actually be rewarding more things like potentially the exclusive cosmetics. So that way we give some example of, or some incentive of actually wanting to do these tasks, right? So you have to do it within this time frame, otherwise this cosmetic is no longer going to be obtainable, right? Now keep in mind, we want that balance of, we don't want to punish people that can't play it every day, right? So the dailies will never ever be rewarding exclusivity. I think that'd be just way too harsh. So if anything, the exclusivity, the smallest is going to be is week-long events. But it could be a week long, it could be multiple weeks long, months long at a time. It just depends how we want to kind of scope it, based on the rest of the game. So yeah, we definitely want to promote people coming back and playing, giving them something fresh to do every day. If they don't want to just keep grinding the same map that they've been grinding, they can go for the temporal tasks, right? So those will just be called tasks or quests. That's kind of how other games do it. Or events, that's another thing too. But temporal tasks is kind of the internal name right now. So some examples there, right? Beat a certain trick on a certain trick surf map, right? Play a specific game mode, do a specific thing, do a no-fail run of some particular jump map like RJ Beef, or complete the bunny hop gauntlet, right? If we have the playlist feature in there, beat that specific playlist. And that could be a week to month long event that you're just grinding towards, right? Sitting down in one sitting and doing all of these maps in a continuous playthrough, but giving them enough time to be able to grind out the individual maps and like get used to them, so that they don't, I guess choke too hard. But so it's all of these various things, right? Keep in mind the bunny hop gauntlet can change the maps at any time. That's why it's not a challenge, right? We can't have it be a permanent thing where, like 1 month it's easier, or something, like some playlist that's easier to beat or something like that, right? So that's kind of the goal of those is just focusing on the appropriate size chunks of gameplay that people want to try to go for. And it, again, the overall goal of playing Momentum Mod, I think, changes per person. And so that's what we're trying to cater to with these systems and with the rank point system, with the cosmetic system. We want to try to cater to everybody, not just the diehard veteran, I've been surfing for 10,000 hours straight sort of people. We want to be able to cater to, I've never surfed before, but I've been interested. How could I get into it? We want this platform to be the first go-to, right? And I mean, these systems are just aiding in the progress of these individuals. We'll still have the learn section to like learn the individual modes. We'll still have the other aspects of the game that will help educate as well, on top of promote, actually going for something that might not be world record time. Because if you think about it, right, in the long run, there's going to probably be potentially thousands of runs for specific maps, and the groups and like the rank side of that may never see the light of day for for like a newer player or something, where it's like, yeah, the top 10's not gonna this top 10's been optimized for the last 5 years, or something like that, where it's like, yeah, you're gonna have to grind if you want, or find a new strat and grind it, if you want to beat this. So yeah, there's definitely an incentive to try to cater to I guess more palatable gameplay, whether it be through a fun thing like achievements, like, yeah, for that example, getting in the lobby and shooting at each other to unlock an achievement, right? Like things like that, to kind of poke fun at the things that maybe our game doesn't support, or other games. Like we can do things like that through achievements, and then the challenges and temporal tasks just kind of promoting you doing stuff with your friends as well. But the idea being that you don't need friends to do completion. That is another aspect of Momentum Mod. We're a single player first kind of game, but you can still do these challenges, do these these temporal tasks with your friends. So the option's always there. I talked a lot. Did anybody else have any input or wanted to give their thoughts on this?
I think someone asked, but I'm not sure if it was answered. Possible to fail them? Temporal tasks?
If you don't, sorry. So if you don't do them, that would probably be the only fail case.
Yeah.
Just not doing them, not being skilled enough, not being on at the day that it happens, things like that. I view failure in this game as a means to get better at it. I don't want the UX to have a giant red bar across a challenge because you fucked up. If you don't do the no fail run of RJ Beef, if you fail the RJ Beef, it's just try again, right? Like you go back to the start. We don't want it to be like, try again next week, I guess, right? I think that having people be motivated to keep trying, especially new players. Keep that in mind. Keep in mind the new players here that are going to be coming in and seeing these tasks, and then they have no fucking clue what they're doing and they fail it, right? That's going to be such a fucking heart punch. And we don't want that. We don't want to punch new players in the heart. So we want to motivate them to try to do better, to try to keep trying until they get it. And it'll range in difficulty. We could have, I believe, Patty in surf or in chat, Patty surf in chat even suggested having difficulties for these. We could even put tiers on these, and it could scale the amount of XP you get based on the tier of the temporal task, with the idea being that you don't have to do all of them. They're just kind of these extra things to try to go for. The main thing we want you to do is to play various content. We want you to go for challenges. We want you to try to go for playing all of the game modes at one, like like trying to get good at all of the game modes. Become the momentum man, be good at all of them. So yeah, just to verify, or just to clarify here, so the two systems that we're going to have in place, right, is the ranked points system, and that's how well you do on a map compared to others. And then there's the cosmetic system, which is cosmetic XP levels, and then, these challenges, temporal tasks, kind of rewarding. It's more along the side of just playing the game, being rewarded for doing the various things that the game offers. So, yeah. Absolutely, because that's my goal, is to become the momentum man. My goal is to actually be pretty decent at all of the modes. Because imagine, right? Like, bhop gauntlet's one thing. Imagine a momentum gauntlet, where it's like 5 to like 6 maps from each game mode, or not each game mode. It's like spread across every game mode for each tier, right? And you have to beat like 100 maps across all game modes, all the way up to like tier 6 or so. So.
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. It's
That's kind of easy.
Yeah, pretty easy, right? So very, very, very pumped for like the potential that we could do with some of these harder temporal tasks that could take actually months, right, to prepare for and like execute, right? Like, and then you get like a huge reward. And like it would be maybe geared towards the people that are, that have gone through a lot of the challenges and stuff like that, that would be doing it's more end game, kind of quote unquote end game content like that.
There would be like real exclusivity there in that relatively few people would be able to get to that point.
Right? Yeah. And so it turns
really, really cool.
Yeah. And the idea that you can spectate anyone, right, at any time, you could cast somebody trying to go for this, right? Promoting streams. That's another aspect. Streamers just casually playing the game. We want that. We want people to grind for things. We want people to train for things. We want to see that. I want to see it. So yeah.
Yeah. And somebody else asked, with Sarni in chat asked, would it possible to scale them based on like your current XP? I don't know if you do it on rank XP or just overall cosmetic.
Oh, like cosmetic.
So you're not like
okay. Getting
like
drops.
SJ or something, and you can only do like a tier 1.
That's a good idea. Having kind of like a bucket of tasks, and then kind of only showing you a specific bucket based on, and then maybe what you could do is like, if you do all of them, we could show you harder ones. So like we could come up with think of 10, kind of generate 10 tasks every day, and then based on your cosmetic level and like range, or rank points even, or just looking at like your completion point or completion percentage in each of these game modes and tiers, we could kind of tailor it more towards you. So you could go for like if you're a newbie, there's not going to be a tier 6 temporal task, right, or challenge or anything, right? It would be focusing more on go ahead and like beat like 2 tier 1 maps or something, right? Like things like that give you a nice big XP drop to kind of help further you along in the cosmetic store. So so absolutely, right? And then what we could do is when you beat those, we could like have it clear out and show like 3 more or something. We could have UX kind of maybe unlock the rest of them so that you can scroll and see the rest of them or something like that. The problem becomes if you're a really good player, these really easy tasks, you'll still want to do them, but you won't you'll care more about the harder ones. So like we want to kind of have these tasks be publicly visible for everybody, but have it be like when you complete them, it kind of goes further down the list and like shows you progressively harder and harder, but then very clearly displays that there's a cap. It's not going to keep going, right? We're not going to be able to, I mean, we could technically generate like as many tasks as there are maps and stuff like that, right? Like, so in the future, when we have thousands of maps, and that's the other aspect I talk about in the forum post, the really nice thing about temporal tasks is we can promote gameplay on maps that have not, in our opinion, have not gotten enough of it, have not gotten enough gameplay or competition or anything. So we can have, you know, beat this, get a part-time on this map that only has 300 completions or things like that. That would be, you know, it depends on the tier, depends on what game mode and stuff like that. But having an avenue to kind of promote things like that. And just, oh man.
That would be really key because we do see a lot of maps just sort of go under the woodwork a bit and not get the love they deserve. So.
Right. They get their completion and then nothing.
Yeah.
Did anybody have any other input for that? It's a huge thing. It's a huge question, but very necessary to kind of lay it out like this, because not everybody wants to read that giant wall of text of of the forum post. So this is probably easier to send to people so that they can listen along and like look at the three kind of systems here.
For the users who cannot read.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's very true.
Sorry.
All right. So if that's all, we'll go ahead and move on to the next question. Thank you, Cawu, for that. Hopefully this format works. Let us know if you guys like it, like in the Discord or anything like that. It's pretty fun to kind of lay out information like this and talk about it. More
Also,
like
just to add, the people that do ask like good, insightful questions like this, we do now have time to spend like 20 minutes, half an hour going over them.
Yeah.
So if you've got a really good question, like now's a good time to ask because
well, people probably aren't going to know, you know, firsthand if but we'll go ahead and move on. Thank you, Cawu, for that awesome question. Hopefully that helps lay it out, makes it a little easier to understand what's going on here.
So without further ado, our next question is by Cup, who happens to be one of our newest team members. We brought him on just recently, who is asking, will it be possible to watch a showcase run for specific stages and or checkpoints you are currently on?
So yes, definitely plan. There's kind of two systems that will make this a lot easier. Two things that we're currently planning. So the first being plans to like incorporate like a standard or like default, not default's a bad word, but be able to like pack a replay into a map. So when you submit it, like maybe make a requirement that you have to have like some sort of replay so our tools can, you know, play like the stage or the checkpoint in its intended way instead of, you know, you just going to the top of the leaderboard and seeing like all the jumps being skipped or something.
Right.
So together with also plans to make the replay format understand like maybe it already does, but I'm not too sure. When you pass through like a stage or a checkpoint. So this was kind of something we're going to do for the replay UI, which is very similar to like a demo UI. So you'll have like points in like specific ticks where you enter like a stage or something and you'll be able to like jump to them nicely in the replay UI. So kind of those two together, we can make showcases basically for like each individual jump and the entire map. Probably the way it would do, you just start up the entire replay and then like jump to the specific tick of like the stage you want to see or something. I mean, we could probably have replays for each stage or checkpoint too packed, but really the kind of replay that you submit with the map should be that you're doing all the stages and checkpoints intentionally.
Yeah. Yeah. So the main thing to point out here, you nailed it, Bray. Thank you for answering that. The main thing that I want to point out is the world record run's never going to be the best case for newer players to learn. So absolutely, we would love to have a requirement for maps eventually. It could probably be edited in the future for existing maps or something to do a showcase run. To we plan to have kind of splicing tools for replays for you can like record a stage and then save it and then do the next stage and save it. They aren't going to be a contiguous run. They don't have to be, at least. And so that way you can record, right? The showcase is easier. You can upload it with the map, which hopefully will become a requirement down the line. And it makes it so that you just open the leaderboards and you're like, oh, showcase run or watch showcase run. And then we could have it be like you right click or maybe it's a drop down kind of thing of like showcase run from start or from current stage. And if you're not in a run or anything like that, we could just have it be from start or something. But yeah, absolutely. It's a very good suggestion, especially for newer players to a specific map. Or newer players in general that have no idea what's going on, right?
Yeah, probably pretty easily hook it up to like the chat command system too, because at least in Jump, I know, how to watch a showcase run. You type in some command in chat.
Yep. Cool. All right. Any other input on this question here? All right. Thank you, Cup. And welcome to the team, Cup. They're currently out right now. But, So we'll move on to the next question here.
Our next question is LXT asking, how is scrolling affected, if at all, in Bunny Hop?
Right on. So we are based on the CSGO engine. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, scrolling to jump. Manual jumps, basically. We are based on CSGO's input system now. So if CSGO does something weird or it feels weird in CSGO, we want to try to fix that. But otherwise, we are now based on CSGO. bhop in particular is an interesting one. If anything, we can add a scroll run tag. The problem becomes enforcing that. When you have the alternative is to just hold jump. So I don't know. In Bunny Hop it might not be that big of an issue, but in KZ and Climb it's definitely more impacted. I think the current discussion right now is the timing for a scroll to be a perfect jump in KZ is being discussed to be kind of changed based on like when you're pressing jump. It's like a 3-tick window or something now. So for things like that, we want to work with the creator of SKZ, I think it's Danze, and work with what would be a really good approach to try for a fresh slate KZ implementation that we're going to be trying to do. So if anything, I would say definitely there's probably a forum post. If there's not a forum post, reach out in any way to the SKZ creator or people that are in charge of decisions there and see how scrolling is going to be affected there. It's absolutely going to be, KZ doesn't have auto hop. It would be basically just scuffed bunny hop if we added auto for that. So we will do scrolling there, but how it's going to be kind of timed there will depend, I guess, on how we want to go forward with the mode. In bunny hop, CSGO is scrolling, so I don't know how it's affected. And then we're kind of pushing you towards doing auto in modes that have auto. Like we don't really see a benefit of doing a scroll bunny hop in 2021. At least that's my opinion. So sure others on the team feel the same way, but it shouldn't be affected. I would say it's just something that you're gonna have to try and see how you like it. And keep in mind the other aspect too is we aren't exactly CSGO. Like our engine is being updated all the time, various improvements to various subsystems. So it might be a little bit better. It could be maybe our engine's doing less because we don't have so many systems being run that it's maybe processing input better or something. So it could feel maybe slightly different. Our game movement isn't CSGO's, right? We're still on CSS kind of style. I think KZ, we're going to try to do more of a CSGO feel because that's just what people are used to. But we might have mechanics from other eras like 1.6 or something, double ducking and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see how it feels. But when it comes to like actually doing the scroll, the input, I am not sure. I'm not sure how it's affected because we've just been autoing for all of the supported modes currently. So yeah, fun.
Is there something about defrag as well that wanted
buffer jumping? Right, defrag uses buffer jumping. And that's when you're in the air at any time you can press spacebar and it'll jump. That's the idea of buffer jumping. So you don't even have to time the scroll. It's just literally any time. Well, actually, there might be a window. But yeah, it's any time in the air. You just press space and you will jump the next time you land. Really cool system. I like that. How is it different from auto? So like it starts to get a little
bit more aware, I guess.
Right. Another thing to keep in mind is sorry. What was it?
Because in defrag, if you're holding jump, the speed gain from strafing is lower, so you want to kind of
gotcha.
as close to a manually timed jump as you can. So you still do have to time it, but it's not like rocket jump where it's a single tick and you either hit it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's much better.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I understand now. Okay, so yeah. I mean, we're gonna have buffer jump for that. The Lumia's defrag mod, by the way, is basically the implementation. So if you want to go and try defrag, we have resources on our forums for it. We have maps ported by Mac already, so you can try out some of your I think the fan favorites of defrag. And the implementation in that 087 mod will be the one that's eventually coming to Steam. We just have to get Lumia NDA'd. So waiting on Valve. So once we get an answer from them.
Please.
But yeah, so hopefully that answers that. We kind of went a little bit off topic there with defrag, but hopefully that answers that. It's just a matter of kind of letting us know how it feels, I guess, after it comes out. We can try to tweak it a bit more, but ideally movement changes aren't going to be very common after 1.0. And keep in mind that we will have bigger, pushes to test Momentum Mod before 1.0. In fact, obviously keys don't mean anything literally like the couple of versions right before we release. So we'll be either shotgunning them or maybe another thing. Stay tuned. So so that's hopefully that answers that. We'll move on to the next question here. Thank you, LXT.
Our next question is by Jero asking, I believe it's Jero asking,
Jero.
Will there be some mechanic to limit ammo usage in certain parts of the map? Lots of classic jump maps actually need that.
I can answer
Yes.
this one too, if you want.
It's in progress actually right now. I did drop it though for Panorama because that's kind of the
More
big
important.
priority right now.
Yeah.
Getting all
Huge.
of the UI over. So it'll be a trigger that when the player's in it, it limits the amount of times that you can shoot basically. And we'll have like inputs for resetting that count and stuff like that. So you can do something like if you fail a jump and you hit a specific teleport that has like a fail like a value mark to it, meaning that the teleport you hit it, if you hit it you failed, then it can like reset, or you can just have the trigger only on like the jump section, not at the start, so reset there. So there's a couple ways that you'll be able to use it. And it was something we were planning. Like I think the last version wanted to get it in, but it's a little it's a tough one because it kind of touches on a lot of different systems, like what is the UI going to look like? How
Yeah.
is it going to how is it going to work with like the replay system? So it's kind of something that we could kind of just throw something together really quickly and have it kind of work, but just trying to look forward, more forward thinking with it. Has to integrate with a lot of different things. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add, Hex.
Yeah, one important thing to note is that in TF2, the ammo regen is based on a global timer. So if you've ever been stuck on something like SJ ASDF second last, you have to sit there and reload before you can try to jump again. Ours isn't going to do that. It's going to be an actual normal trigger. So it'll be a lot smoother than in TF2. Plus, you have more customization as a mapper. You're not stuck to 8 stickies in a clip or 4 rockets and things like that.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's something that we can expand for like explosives too. So you can't have like a certain amount of explosives in like a trigger volume. Although I think that's probably going to be a separate trigger, but
we'll see. We'll see use cases, but
yeah.
It could be different modes of the limit as well, right? Where it's like, if you go over, we either just fizzle the ones you're trying to shoot, or we fizzle the first one, right? We could do like a sort of thing where if you're shooting like 3 rockets and the 4th one should be that's the limit, 3 is the limit. We just really want to work with mappers to see what they want to be able to limit in the limit cases. But they will be map specific. We're not doing a game mode specific, like wide kind of limit thing like that. We removed ammo mostly because we don't want people to feel the anxiety, and plus the jank of like auto, refreshing. Plus we're focusing on speed, so like the more rockets you can sink or something, the better, right? So we want to kind of promote like limiting as a form of kind of mapper expression, as opposed to game mode wide. So
make players get creative.
Yeah, right? Especially with like portals and stuff. Oh, all right. But any other input for this question? Thank you, Jero, for asking it. We'll move on to the next one.
This next question, I don't know if we're prepared for this one. It's a pretty loaded question. Plar wants to know, will Momentum come out in 2021?
All right, I guess I'll take this one because I'm the lead. It's a loaded question. Okay, as talked about in previous Q&A streams, we can't set release dates until we are absolutely certain that we can hit them. The short answer is maybe, right? Like maybe. So let's break it down, right? So there's 3 things that we need, right? Or there's 3 kind of categories of things, right? So there's things that we 100% require, like core functionality. We can literally not ship the game and have a functional, fun game to play without these things. So starting here, right, Panorama. We don't want to implement any other UI in VGUI. Like it's dead to me. For me personally, it's a waste of time. We don't want to ship this kind of 2 UI system in place here where there's like VGUI. Like the very next update, I believe, is going to actually remove the VGUI launch option altogether, because we're actually going to stop freaking compiling it altogether, right? So Panorama is kind of the focus of 09X updates right now. We're currently porting everything over. We already started with 09.0. We're porting basically the majority of the functional HUD and panels in the main menu, which you're going to see some more progress on that. And we're planning to get kind of the 09.2, 09.3-ish updates out with those. No estimate, right? Slidey's in school, I have work. There's so many different things that are happening in our lives that it's just, we can't really give concrete estimates. Like I can't say a month or 2 months. The other thing to keep in mind too, all of these milestones, by the way, the 09, 010, 011 are completely public. You can track them on our GitHub. Thank you, Hex, for linking that. You can click on our organization's projects as well. You can link that as well. That's Panorama, right? So Panorama is absolutely required because the replay UI, all of the different UI for like task tools and things like that require a lot of UI work. And again, we're not doing that in VGUI. So we need to port over to Panorama because, it does not make sense to continue supporting VGUI. So that's our current goal. Our next release, kind of after that, right? After everything's ported over to Panorama, I'm going to be jumping over to the zone refactor. Zones need to be updated to have more information stored in them. We're going to basically allow mappers to set more settings instead of through point commands through the zones directly. So you can actually have a specific stage have specific settings, things like low grav or whatever, right? Like you can do different like air accelerate, whatever, in the individual zones themselves. That's kind of the idea. So the zone refactor also making the tooling better, making it easier to go into the game to kind of like, make these tools. And it's just this giant kind of effort there to kind of get the zones up to speed with what data we actually want to store in them. And then the tooling to do so. The O10 updates are also kind of these mapper entity related things. That's where the limit ammo trigger is going to be coming. So that's just where it's pushing back to. After that, after the zones are confirmed good, we are basically opening the floodgates to anyone that wants to help zone any maps for us whatsoever. So basically, we'll have people kind of interfacing with the team that are going to be the leads. And they'll be kind of in charge of the different game modes, and we'll basically open the floodgates. Anyone that wants to use our tooling here to zone maps, get them ready for release for 1.0, can help out. And the other focus, the other thing here is that Panorama more or less will be pretty much solid to where we can start to open our efforts into things like localization, right? So things like getting the core 5 languages outside of English translated, the most popular 5, and then kind of also delegating more resources to the lesser known languages as well, or lesser spoken ones. So that'll kind of fall under that kind of era. And then after that is the replay refactor. The replays themselves do not store enough data, as very clearly evidenced by people watching Conc, Rocket Jump, etc. Replays, they don't store explosives. They don't store when you go into a new stage. Things like that need to be stored inside of the replay. We're going to also try to optimize the format a little more to be more delta based, and then recreate the replay so that the replay itself is tiny, but then it kind of blows up in RAM as you play it back. So things like that, and then any required information that our anti-cheat also needs would be also stored. Again, not the only information that our anti-cheat needs, but some of the core info that we need to validate against. That is 011, right? That replay refactor, that kind of UI overhaul that we're going to be doing with the replay UI, things like that. Also, things like being able to record replays very easily, integrating with SVR directly, working closely with CrashFort, integrating just a button that you can press to fucking record a replay or a snippet of a replay or anything. Things like that just make it extremely easy to kind of go forward with that. So looking forward to that. And then after that, the game starts to shift towards release mode of like, we need to focus on, all right, the newer player experience, things to work towards. So the cosmetic system, those challenge systems, the initial learn sections, that's kind of 012, focusing on also maybe roaming lobbies at this point too. Some of these are really straightforward things to add. It just needs a little bit of UX or things like that to show that you're in these lobbies or whatever. So that's kind of all grouped together there. The last kind of major push before 1.0 is 013 updates, and those are anti-cheat, release prep, making sure that we have, we're we're prepping for potentially an influx of people. We're a free-to-play game. Who knows what's going to happen, right? So just getting all of the assets, getting all of the polish in place for a 1.0 release that's going to go over as smoothly as possible. That is all that's required for 1.0. Those last two are kind of, gray areas. These kind of just, I don't know, like these, they're kind of just like a grab bag of like different things. Like there's just so many small things that we need to do in these two versions that are just going to be testable. And around these two versions, by the way, is when we will start to open up more to kind of shotgunning the keys, as well as maybe another sort of approach as well. So yeah, that's kind of the core, right? We need these things. Our game is not going to be very approachable, very fun for players playing in. I mean, again, like keep in mind, players that have played Surf, Bunny Hop, these modes that have been done forever, see this game as complete. Like it's just taking forever to like just come out. We have to keep in mind the bigger idea here of the game, and like the newer players that are going to be seeing 1.0 or seeing their friends play it and try to play with them. So we have to be able to cater to that too. So while learn sections might not actually literally be like absolutely necessary for 1.0, we want them for 1.0. We have to have them in our vision, or at least my vision of the game. They're absolutely necessary for 1.0. So focusing on those, getting testing done for that, maybe even introducing some grandmas to the game, stuff like that. So yeah, the second column here, what would be nice? So these are things that we want to try to get in for 1.0, and when it just needs things, right? So localization, we just need the people, right? If we get an influx of like 30 plus people like per language or whatever, right? Like helping out with the localization effort, yeah, of course we're going to get it into 1.0, right? All the work's done. It's just a matter of like getting the files shipped with the game, right? Because like all the localization is just a text file, but we also need to make sure that our UI is accommodating it, that, buttons don't break when you change it to, traditional Chinese, things like that. There's things like that we need to make sure don't break. And that's part of that effort that just needs the people. TrickSurf just actually needs web work. A lot of the local systems are in place. In fact, some of the HUD work to be done is still the trick like menu basically, but it needs web work, and currently web work is in a weird state of disarray. Our lead is very busy in real life, so please. So that's just a matter of whenever that gets done. If that takes a while, right, it'll probably be after 1.0, which sucks, but that's not the goal. The goal is to try to get in for 1.0, but it needs web work. It needs it. Defrag, we just need Lumia and the aid. Like defrag's there. We can have a CPMA, like we can have the VQ3 and CPMA styles of defrag in the game for 1.0. The momentum mod version, or momentum race, or whatever version of defrag, is just a matter of figuring out kind of how we want that mode to work, and that needs input from that's the one that needs the people, right? We need people to give input on what the momentum mod version of that, but we could have a VQ3 CPMA style version, and we just need Lumia and the aid, which is very soon, so defrag might actually very easily come into the game there. Bonus leaderboards, not really necessary, right? People are going to probably be playing the main maps anyway. We'll zone them, right? We'll get it. It just needs web and game UI work. We just need web work. We need game UI work to like show the different ones, and we're redesigning the leaderboards as part of the Panorama push. So that'll be done. So then it'll just need web work, which is just a matter of like, accepting it on the website of things. Dedicated lobbies needs outside input from people that run servers. What do they want out of something like a dedicated lobby? Things like learn to the Jump Learn Academy. That's right, Jump Academy. They need specific things, and we need to see what our game can offer in comparison to what they're used to. Because keep in mind, like the game itself already handles a lot of stuff that they would require, so it just needs that outside input to kind of wrap up and see what we need. But that'll be, our main focus for that was around early after 1.0, early on there. And then more learn sections, right? We're going to be trying our best to get the supported game modes at 1.0, at least some of the basic learn segments there. But it just needs people. It needs mappers. It'll need people to collect what should actually be taught, and the mappers to make those ideas come to life. We need to, make sure that we have the systems in place that mappers can effectively create these education-based experiences for people to learn the different game modes. We're going to be doing our best to kind of set the example of what they should look like, and then take on more people that could help out there as the growth or as the game grows potentially. And then the last column here is what's later, right? What's after. So we want to try to get a new BSP version, ideally focusing on bigger grid, bigger map sizes. Obviously, the new BSP version here making it so that it's not backwards compatible with CSGO or anything, because again, you need engine changes for this to be a thing. So yeah, good luck trying to convince CSGO devs to support our new BSP format, stuff like that. Brush faces, entity limits, etc. We want to look into increasing, also optimizing, replacing maybe LZMA with maybe Z standard compression, things like that, getting more up to date with how we want to kind of format our BSPs. Parkour, right? That's whoever wants to work on that, maybe Mr. Steak, I don't know. It's just a matter of getting to it. Climb is also going to be probably the more prioritized game mode after 1.0. It's not really on our docket for pre 1.0 until maybe 0K is further along there. We could probably try to bring that in from his pull request on the game repo. The other trick modes, by the way, so Trick Surf, right, being the first one because it's kind of the only one, but we want to expand. We're designing the system to be as expandable as possible to other game modes. So the other modes getting trick, versions that can come later. Clans, we talked about that in previous streams. Clans, kind of more of a dedicated multiplayer kind of thing that you can participate in. Tournament mode, if we have Surfs Up or something like that, promoting, or preemptively making us do tournament mode, we can do it. It's just a matter of need there, so it's kind of just pushed back until we see what the need is there. We would love to do a 1.0 kind of release tournament sort of thing soon after 1.0, so maybe the tournament mode might actually be started work before 1.0 drops, but maybe finished after 1.0 and released right to the game. So keep in mind that tournament mode is just a way to kind of host your lobby to where you can kind of have specific UI and you get specific information from players like that. And then maps, right? Yeah, hopefully sooner rather than later, but yeah, I mean, they can come later. All of the maps that you know and love, right, just depend on the people. It depends on people porting and zoning and prepping and reviewing. So yeah, they're coming. And then lastly, we have a ton of things that can come later. But yeah, the last one I listed here is Asset Atlas, which is this system that's going to be kind of optimizing map downloads to only download things you need. Part of the map reviewing tool is ripping out assets that we're going to be shipping with the game. So for example, all the free asset packs that give us the license and permission to, we're going to be shipping with the game. So things like real world textures, maybe some TF2 style textures that are from creators that made them and give us the license to. We want to ship with the game because that way you download the game and you already have it. And then all of the maps you download are tiny, right? They don't have it packed in. Well, they're not tiny. They're smaller, right? So they're smaller in size because you already have those assets and they're right where we need them. But yeah, there's more, right? There's always more. But this hopefully lays it out. This is what we need. On the left, this is what we can do in the middle, just depends on things. And this is what's coming later on the right, probably post 1.0. Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot here to unpack, right? If we go, if we go back to this, so right, like this is the focus, this is the answer. Can we do this by 2021's end? Maybe. I have faith in our ability. We have 2 licensed devs that we're getting onboarded, right? You know, Rio Lumia is kind of in the process right now. So when they get on, that's 2 more people to help out, do various things. I'm going to be focusing on the things in this list particularly. I did the Panorama map selector. I'm going to do leaderboards next, while the other devs are kind of tackling the individual HUD panels. Zone refactor, I'm going to work on the documentation and implementation of the new format. Replay refactor, same thing. Cosmetic system, kind of getting the how it's going to work and interface with the website. We might even use Steam items for that too. We'll see, because Steam has kind of like the store. So all we would need to do is just make sure that you meet all of the requirements on our site and unlock it for you, you know, through Steam. The initial learn section actually requires more non-dev work than dev. Dev just actually needs to put the UI in, and even then we could, with Panorama, we can fairly generalize it. We just have to have it hook up, you know? So we just have to make a format that works best for people that are designing these to be able to kind of list them manually, and then merge those in. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm going to jump over to AnyCheat and work with Slidey and maybe a few others on that. Yeah, and that all of that in 3 months. So maybe I don't know. I genuinely can't tell. I will say that if we do delay, there will be very good news alongside it. I'll mention that. It won't be just like a static, like, oh, hey, we're delaying. You guys will get something in return. Yeah, so there's a lot of work. It's a big game. Making a game, just, I want to say, like, up front, it's hard. It grows, it's hard. I also want to preface by saying that I've never done this before. I've never made a game. I've never, like, this is all new to me in particular, right? And, you know, failure to hit dates and stuff is not as bad because, again, we don't have like Patreon or anything like that where people are like into, you know, our shareholders breathing down our necks. We can take our time. It does, you know, provide public disappointment and stuff if we have to delay, but it's all for good reason. We want you guys to enjoy a full experience for the game. We don't want, again, the other thing to keep in mind is we could ship right now, but there's no anti-cheat, right? Like there's no, like all of this stuff in place where it's like, if you guys are okay with that, we could, but I'm not okay with it. I'd feel awful if I pushed it and like the immediate like 3 months after we push it, it's just, you know, negative reviews after negative reviews because it's unfinished. Keep in mind that as a, you know, we're still classified as a mod. We can't release as early access, so we don't have that cushion to lean on. But yeah, I just, as a, you know, I would prefer to have a full release, and the stuff on the left here is what's whoops, my bad. The stuff on the left here is what's required. So we'll see. We have a lot of, like, keep in mind that, like, me personally, I'm not demotivated by any like setbacks or anything like that. I think, you know, it sucks. It definitely sucks if we have to push back, but the game is gonna be awesome. Like I'm absolutely pumped to get this game out. Again, I want to play this game. Like I've said this multiple times. I want to play this game. I'm working on it because everything that's going into Momentum, I love, right? I love everything that this game has to offer. And I'm hoping that it's being angled and viewed as a platform for people to eventually, you know, learn and come to. So, yeah, maybe I suck at estimates, but at the same time, shit happens, right? Like, shit just happens. And so I'm not going to blame any, you know, delays or anything on shit happens, but just keep that in mind if we do delay. So maybe is the all the way back, circling full circle. maybe. Was there anybody else that had any input for this question or any thoughts on what we talked about?
I just wanted to piggyback off of what you were just mentioning. A lot of us haven't worked on a project like this, at least at this kind of scale. It's not a AAA title. It's not something like Gokmak had mentioned, where we have financial backers or set deadlines. It's something that we do in our free time. It's a passion-driven project. Nobody working on this project is getting paid for the effort that they're putting into the project. But it has definitely evolved over time, as you can tell. We have a lot of things going on. There's been a lot of stuff that we've all learned, and that's how I look at this. It's definitely a learning experience for all of us. We get involved in something like this. We learn how to work with one another. We learn how to collaborate and coordinate with one another. And it's, again, something that we all are picking up as we go. So, like the old saying, patience is a virtue. And the game will definitely get released. It's not going to be a project that just gets abandoned. That's not going to be the case. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
Goknak himself is usually spending ages online up till like 4 o'clock in the morning still doing stuff. And it's like, I have
4
to...
o'clock?
Yeah, you need to get more sleep, buddy.
More like
Yeah.
6.
So some of us have to remind him to catch some sleep before we have our team meeting. So he has definitely dedicated, and it's actually kind of, my goodness, it's kind of a good influence because he's pushing himself so hard, and it kind of reminds me I need to push myself a little bit harder. I think other people feel the same way. Like, somebody's doing a lot of work. Why aren't I doing a lot of work? Why don't I try to meet the same kind of level of standard? So again, just have patience. It will definitely come to fruition. It's not going to be something that falls short, and we definitely want to meet everybody's expectations with all the game modes that we're supporting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's done when it's done. Like, there's just, having worked on the project for so long, it wouldn't make sense to rush a release outright and get, have a bunch of unfinished stuff that it makes sense to release when the timing's right. And we are on pretty good pace right now in terms of the sort of general flow of the whole project over the last 5-6 years or whatever. Stuff is going faster than ever. It's just, getting to that finish line is still, takes time.
It's a task. But that's the thing. Releasing, right? Like, releasing is, once you do, it's you get an influx of people, you get new feedback, you get praise, you get the hate. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
You can't only release once, right? It's not something where if we screw up the release, we can then just reset everything, and then, it wouldn't be a disaster, but it's still, we don't want to miss the opportunity that comes from, really getting ourselves organized and doing the release really, really well. And
no man's sky comes to mind.
Right. Yeah.
Execution is very important. So we want to make sure that we definitely meet everybody's expectations and possibly even go a little bit beyond that.
If people start complaining too much, we will execute them.
Jeez.
Sorry.
That's a slash S.
Yeah. So hopefully this answers it. Thank you. I do want to thank everybody that either hears this or eventually you can tell them to. Thank you for your patience. Seriously. Like, it's a passion project. I'm extremely passionate about it. Everyone on the team, I'm sure, is very passionate about it. We want to have this out as soon as possible where it makes sense. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. And yeah, I can't wait. Again, once 1.0 drops, I'm still deciding whether or not I want to play it or just watch people play it. So yeah,
spec main.
Yeah. So
just have to buy loads of monitors and just have them like
in the Matrix. Yeah.
Exactly. You can be Mr. Matrix.
So yeah. So thank you, Plar, for asking that. It's an important question. We're getting there. So we're getting there. All right. We'll move on to Murgle's question, and I'll go back to here so we're not hiding. Hi.
Murgle wants to know, what are the plans for tournaments? Who will be able to participate in the tournaments? Will there be any kind of cash prizes? And how often will they occur?
Thoughts about that? Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think anything's like set in stone. Previous Q&As, like we've talked a lot about what we'd like to do, like weekly tournaments, like on the weekends, or tournaments on like new and unreleased maps is kind of like an incentive to play and test them. Um, Definitely we'll win cosmetic points for the tournaments, but I don't know about cash prizes. So we could probably use our donation pool, but that kind of goes more towards like the actual development of the game. Yeah, it's kind of dependent on how much donations we get, I guess. Because if we get a lot, then yeah, maybe, right?
Yeah.
There's also the potential for community tournaments that may, have crowdfunding or receive their funding in other ways.
Mhm.
And it would be good to have support for that as well. But I don't know if we're going to be kind of integrating that with the website and setting those up.
Yeah, so I guess the tournament mode that was in this previous slide. Oh man, I keep my focus. There we go. The tournament mode right on the right. Oh, sorry, you can't even see it because of our webcams. But the tournament mode there. The idea is to set up a framework for tournaments, kind of getting the 1v1 style and rule sets in place there. So tournaments are inherently a very community-based thing. So to kind of just push it onto the community would kind of be unfair. I would love to have some. I don't think we'll be doing them frequently as every week or something like that. I think maybe the temporal task system will take care of that because we'll have weekly tasks. So playing a new map that dropped for that week, or getting, a specific time on it. Things like that can be done through other means. I think, the tournaments, the style of like Surf's Up and things like that, are very important, extremely important for the game, because it shows more of an esports kind of competitive side to what you can do in the game. I like the idea of maybe throwing 2 a year, official ones, and maybe focusing more on maybe promoting or getting exclusive maps, getting like focusing more on like the platform inclusion side of it as opposed to just community, like just surf and things like that. Maybe making it more like, okay, here's 10 exclusive maps, right? That like will give players a week to like, or or I don't know, some amount of time to like learn them a bit, like kind of see what's coming up. But then like the tournament starts and like it's like kind of just this all out like optimization fest of seeing like the best of the best, maybe. Things like that where you can have like it's more like hyped up to leading to content that drops for everybody, if that makes sense. Like a community tournament would be more celebrating the players directly and their skill and things like that. Our tournaments would be probably focused towards a little bit of that, but also focusing on momentum as a whole and celebrating momentum. So celebrating the players that are better at multiple game modes, for example, because like our tournaments wouldn't be a Surf's Up, it would be Momentum's Up. Name pending. Don't sue us, Kurt, please. But that's the idea, is like we would be focusing more on just kind of making this grand event. I don't know how how it would be laid out, but something like that. And who would be able to participate? It would be really, really cool to see almost like different divisions for the tournament. So like a pro circuit, and then like a kind of average, and then a noob circuit would be so cute. Just imagine like It'd be so cute. Just imagine like the tier 1, tier 2 servers competing, or not servers,
Mapping
but
would be such an issue, though.
oh,
We can
absolutely.
discuss that another day. But
Yeah, absolutely.
love the idea, but yeah.
But it would be so cool just like rooting on this like average player or something. I love that. I would love, because I love pro players, but I also want to celebrate or allow these, more average, they play a lot but maybe aren't as, good players to be able to compete for this, and like maybe get some awesome like medals, some recognition there, the cute noob circuit. Yeah.
Finally,
something like that.
A bhop tournament,
right? Yeah. So things like that. I think it would be cool to have the different divisions there. I think the other thing to keep in mind is we want content in our game, so we might actually focus more on mapping competitions. We want more content in our game, so we would cash prizes and stuff like that might actually go more towards mappers in particular. It also depends, right? If we can collect a pool of money to kind of disperse among the winners and stuff like that, it could, we could grow that way. We could kind of invest into mappers to make maps for a bigger tournament that then gets its own cash pool to divvy out to players that win. Commission style kind of mapping, where we're paying more for the effort and not the map itself. The map would actually drop and be free in the game. It's just, it would be kind of a tournament exclusive there. Yeah. So I think that like having cash involved definitely gives incentive to do your best. It also gives incentive for cheating, because now it's a real world effect. An outcome there of cheating, so we have to be a little careful there and kind of hand select players maybe. But the occurrences, right, it'll probably be pretty rare, maybe once or twice a year for official ones. Keep in mind, we would love to see Surfs Up. We are fully on board, fully supportive of Surfs Up, bhops up, ahops up. We want people to make their own tournaments and kind of garner that hype. We don't want them every like day or anything like that. That'd be crazy. I think, just kind of celebrating these, I think bhop World Cup's another one. Defrag World Cup is a very known one from Defrag. So kind of those level of like individual tournaments with their own kind of spins on them. We want to offer the tools that we would be using, maybe minus the exclusive map part. We'll see how that works. I mean, we could probably set it up to where it's like if you upload a map, we could put it in a specific state for a specific Conc's up.
Down.
Conc's down. So we would absolutely love to see it. To see individual tournaments happen as well. So I think maybe the real answer there is like that you'll be looking forward to those more because they'll be more frequent. But ours, we want to go big because it's celebrating the entire platform.
Could I butt in now?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been talking for too long.
Sort of dying to. I'm personally quite skeptical about tournaments that we ourselves run. I definitely like to do it. But when it comes to logistics of that and production of doing, say, live streams and doing live cash pools and stuff like that, like it seems really hard. And like sort of, it's just a really large thing to manage. I mean, I've massive fan of Surfs Up. I thought that was like a really, really impressive competition. That seemed like a nightmare to run, and that was for like a relatively small amount of money, and
Well, that was also because it was all Kurt.
Yeah.
For 12 hours.
But like in terms of sort of what makes sense for us to be, I think anything that we do should be like a fun sort of celebration of like community. I think, and especially doing stuff like we had maps specifically for that, and but in terms of say stuff that has like a really large live stream and you have the production there going on and.
Right.
I don't know. I'm far more interested to see what like other people do, like say Kurt and from the diabolical, not defrag diabolical scene has been like just because I'm looking on Twitch at the moment, I can see Tim Conlan is playing diabolical right now. A really cool little defrag DBT tournament they do. I'm really interested to see what input comes just from like outside places using momentum. and most excited to see from a Momentum's point of view just what we can do to support that, because we should be able to provide exceptionally good UI and stuff that really helps in terms of production for them. And yeah, I mean, if we can do something big, then awesome. But
We do have a lot of people on the team who have experience in hosting those events, so I definitely think it's within reach. But yeah, the number one focus should be letting everyone else host their events.
Yes.
Yeah.
In TF2, for example, hosting an event, not even just like the populated, but just like technically with servers and ping and everything is awful.
Yeah.
So
but
just
what I'd really
letting people host their own events is
but seeing people come to us with, you know, having them tell us like what they'd like, you know, in terms of like stream stuff, like how they can use our UI to get like the best sort of like stream footage and whatnot, and you know how they can hook into like our race system, stuff like that, what improvements we can make to the race system. I'm really interested in getting those people's input on what we could be doing better in that regard, because those people with that experience are going to be the ones that, like, you know, really you know, sort of tailor fit Momentum to what they need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
So the tools, right, like the things that we would be providing is more of an in-game and on the website sort of way to organize them. Being able, I think what Ox was even saying in chat, being able to host them with your friends, absolutely. That'd be so much fun, right? Like having like you and like 10 buds like just go head to head against each other for like fun, right? It doesn't have to be for anything. You could do your own wagers or whatever, like in real life or whatever, Bitcoin or something. I don't know. Anyway, like that level of the game providing a platform for you to set one up, queue up maps, and it ties into the clan system as well. So clans can do them individually, or even against other clans.
Yeah.
So having things like that, like inherently in the game, I think offers a more approachable way to kind of like do tournaments, I think. So having the setup for that, inviting people through the site, so they have to be, you know, on Momentum, things like that. Your map pool and stuff through the Momentum map pool, so everyone's using the same version and things like that. Utilizing Momentum's anti-cheat and, you know, submission things for making sure people are playing fairly. Just offering that base platform and then the tools on top of it to build the tournament that you would like to do. And then like Tom was saying, talking with other, you know, event organizers. We're going to be, you know, asking Kurt what they need for Surf's Up, things like Surf's Upside Down, reaching out to Caffrey. We would love to support the platform or these existing tournaments as much as possible as kind of a test run, see how it works, release the tools to everybody. You can do, you know, your own tournaments at your own pace. We could see if a new tournament comes out of that, you know. So yeah, I think then, you know, on top of all that, there's like the casting and the cash pool and stuff, but it doesn't have to exist, right? You could do it locally. You could just kind of have fun with your friends there. So we want to offer those both of those options for players. So the official ones that you can train for, compete, place, you know, get in, seeded in the tournament, and then work your way up, as well as just host your own. Just have fun, right? Have fun with it. So who says competition can't be fun? So yeah. And how often will they occur? Yeah, I don't know. They tend to be yearly, so a lot of bigger tournaments are yearly. So we'll see kind of how we want to place our tournaments, if we do any and things like that. Yeah.
I like the idea of it being a sort of showcase of some of like the best maps of the year and stuff like that, you know, sort of it being a sort of annual momentum. It's sort of like MomCon, you know. We could
You bring your body pillow of the Momentum Man to me, I'll sign it.
Yes. Yeah.
So
We're
yeah.
gonna,
Was there any other input on these series of questions about tournaments? Okay.
God, the UI is gonna look so good.
Oh yeah.
UI.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Gorgeous.
Having, you know, all the stats that you'd like to show. It'll probably be PBs, right, for the standard format of 1v1, get the best PB on a map sort of thing. But yeah, I'm really pumped. All right, thank you, Murgle, for asking that. I believe we have a couple more questions. Yeah, so we'll move on to the next one.
Gravy is asking, or would like to know, what prompted the idea of Momentum Mod?
Botnak.
I want to know too, because I don't think I got I
Yeah,
don't think I really know
Ghost
Right.
Mod V2.
exactly what
Yeah.
prompted it for you.
so yeah, back in 2014, I was doing a lot of Half-Life 2 speedrunning. And whenever I would do runs and get a PB, I obviously don't want to keep going, or I would get burned out for the day. So I turned to surfing, actually, as kind of a way to chill out with the chat, because sometimes I would get like a run or burn out quicker and I still wanted to stream and hang out. So I would go, I think I started on some servers and just hated that I couldn't play. I think Omnific was I wanted to just beat Omnific, and I couldn't because I had to keep fucking joining servers every single time. And even if there were only 2 people on the map, they would never vote to go to the map. So it sucked. So I was like, okay, there has to be a better way, right? There has to be a better way for me to just surf. I know there's offline, but that gets annoying because you don't really have a timer. You have to do a bunch of settings, and it's all this manual junk that I didn't want to set up plugins and stuff for a local server, and that was annoying and whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll just take the easier route. I'm gonna make my own game that lets me surf on any map that I want and has a timer, and I can just play whatever whenever I want for however long I want. That was kind of the main inspiration. So I made, using my very minimal C++ knowledge from Ghosting Mod, which is a mod that I made for Half-Life 2 that showed you where it was a run recorder, right? So it was recording a demo, but playing it back in real time as you did your run, so you would actually visually see if you're going faster than your run. Compared to Live Split, which can do that kind of, a real-time comparison, but you don't really see it, right? Where 5 seconds was that because I bumped into the wall or something crazy like that. So so I had very minimal experience with timer and ghost related functionality. So that was copy pasted over and improved upon over time. Some of the original, I think, ghost code is from still Momentum Mod, or Ghosting Mod, and even there's a comment that's thanks Ghosting Mod or whatever. Me thanking myself sarcastically or whatever for my own features. So yeah, that came over, and then bunny hop was just a matter of tick rate. So I believe there were other people that from my stream that spread word of what I was trying to do, and we eventually started to get people on board with you could do bunny hop pretty easily. You just change the tick rate in the Airxel, and Airxel and yeah, that's it. I think that was the only things we were changing. And then we would have bunny hop and surf, right? The maps load. It's the same engine as CSS and TF2. And we didn't really think about jumping until way down the line, because it was kind of we'll just, we'll release the surf and bunny hop game. It'll come out. We'll just add things or whatever. There really wasn't a vision back then. I just wanted to play a game that had surfing in it, right, back then. And then, university and stuff started to make me realize that and just also the lack of it being done. The fact that, what the fuck, it's 2016 and someone still hasn't made something like Momentum Mod. I still have to go on this server on a game from 2004 to play this, this map. So I was like, okay. And Momentum started to become an extremely serious part of my life, probably in college, when I started to realize that not only could I also use it for college classes as the project to work on in some of them, I was also able to, start to really focus my software engineering skills towards something tangible, because it was something that exists and could become something bigger, right? And yeah, and just that, again, that's what I was saying earlier. I really want to play something like Momentum, right? And nothing really has come close. There are standalone games, but they're kind of just Unity or whatever, and it's are you serious? Like, this is like, you have to do all the manual work. It's like setting up the server again. Like, what? So these platforms aren't promising. So I'm like, okay, well, with Momentum, we have existing content, right? That was the main thing. We have, you know, there's no centralization was the other thing. You had to go across games. So if you wanted to play, CSS had bhop and surf, and that's why it was kind of focused on first. But then the, you know, rocket jump, and then like we started to expand out to like, oh, what about like Conc, and like what about ahop, like what I just did for like the past like 5 years, right? Like Half-Life 2 speedrunning, what about that? And it's just like all of this could exist under this platform, and then we mount the games, you know, for the content, for the maps, but then you centralize all of it. People just install the game and have one beautiful stop that has their leaderboards, all of their stats tracked, all of that they could get from these servers in one spot, all for free, right? Because that was the other thing, is like, I don't, you know, paying money is great, but the licensing costs of the Source SDK or the Source engine, which I don't even think you can buy anymore, and then just also the fact that, like, you know, you're aiming to be this cool centralized platform, but like CS:GO is free, TF2 is free. You know, why am I gonna pay $10 for this like seemingly same thing, right? Like it just turns a lot of people off. So having a free to play platform that they can just try it out, right? Try to see if it's different or if the same, or if there's things that we do better. You know, like that, it started to really come together. And so like I talk about the history of Momentum kind of in phases, right? So that 2014 to like 2016 era was phase 1, and that was like surf and bunny hop, don't really know what I'm doing, barely any C++ experience, no professional software experience, you know, no jobs under my belt or anything. And then I got an internship, and then I took more software engineering classes and things like that. And I started to realize that Momentum can actually become this series project. And Zofa and I started Gen 2, which had regular team meetings with the people on board every Saturday. It was originally at 3 p.m. and then we bumped it back to noon because that was better for all the European people that we started to bring on. And then and that was phase 2, and then we started to really nail down what the idea of Momentum Mod can be, and that's phase 3. So phase 3 is now bringing on people that know what the idea of Momentum Mod is. They agree with the platform. They agree with the vision that I have for the game, that I've, you know, tried my best to kind of document as well as I can on the site and through these streams and stuff. And so we're kind of like in this like awkward, like I think engine access and onwards is phase 4 of like we're dedicated now. Like it's happening. Like whether, I mean, we're gonna have the call back to the gloomy question asked, I think, like 3 Q&A streams ago of what happens if one of the important members. We're gonna have backup like protocols of like, if somebody, me included, if something happens, we at least have a way forward. The game is still coming out. There's no, you know, it might go slower or something, but it can still come out. So yeah, there's it's definitely grown. And, you know, to say that the project started in 2014 is really sad, right? We're taking over 7 years to release, but it's like so much has happened in that time that I kind of like want to say that Momentum actually started with like phase 3. Like I phase 1 and 2 was like fuck around and find out, right? Like that was the fuck around and find out like era of Momentum, and now like 3 and 4 is like fuck yeah, we're getting this done and shipping it. So that's kind of how I view it. But yeah, that's what prompted it, and just the fact that there isn't anything like it still. There's nothing trying to be like it, exactly the way that I want it to be. Right? There might be other games that are trying to centralize or focus on one particular game mode, but that's one particular game mode. We have 9 others, right? It's like, and then not only that, we have existing thousands of maps that just like plug and play almost, right? We're going to be doing our due diligence and like fixing them up, but like we're going to have so much existing content that people know and love, or it could be classics, right? Like that people have seen streamers or YouTubers play, and now they get to play it for themselves. They don't have to go server hopping to figure out what the fuck map that was. It's just like, it's amazing to see how far the game's come since then. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm so pumped because the idea of Momentum has gone much bigger than I could have ever anticipated, and I love it. So I'm so happy that I that phase 2 happened. I think that we didn't just let phase 1 be the end of momentum. The start, the fizzle, and the end of momentum of just like 2 years of not knowing what the fuck we were doing and then just leaving. So I'm happy, and it's, you know, that's why I'm up every night. That's why I'm working on it all the time. I love it, and I want to see it out. I want to play it. I want to see people playing it. I want to, you know, hang out with people playing it. I think it's definitely going to have an effect of people that have heard of the game modes that Momentum supports. The fact that it's free to play makes it basically zero barrier to entry. So there's like, I'm just excited for what's to come. I'm going to drink some water now. Does anybody else have any thoughts or input on that?
Momentum is pretty fun.
Agreed.
I could just I agree that I've always found servers to be really crazy, and I think a big part of the reason I've not played that much like consistently over the years, even though like surf and bhop and especially are like sort of things I would absolutely like to spend my time doing when I'm playing computer games.
Right.
I hate the server model. I just can't stand it. Like, you know, I've played bits and pieces on KSF. I used to play on Resurfed a lot, and you know, the plugin makers and stuff do a really good job with what they're given.
Absolutely.
But it's still it is just such a fundamentally limited platform, and the idea that to play the map you want, you have to be on a server that's playing that map.
Yeah.
Like, having not really played on those servers in years now, like, it's preposterous. It's just, it's silly. It's just, there's no need.
It's also painful to just like go through the kind of loop of like server owners losing interest and then just like servers just die, and then all your times are gone. Yep. And then you have to move somewhere else.
It's just because it's, you know, it's stuff like surf and all these modes, like they're the kind of things you want to just be able to switch off, relax, and just do that. It's a perfect thing at the end of the day. Exactly the kind of thing where you don't want, you know, some 12-year-old typing RTV every 10 minutes or whatever, you know, like it's
how else am I gonna not get a PB?
yeah, it can't, you know,
if you're from Jump too, and like and
Ping,
you're like me, where you go on like the US West, and like there isn't really like, I guess there's a server in LA and a new one in Seattle, but like, yeah, it's the ping is just unbearable for Jump, especially sticky Jump.
So making the gameplay first and not server hopping the server experience, game.
But when you do think of just what you need for a game like Momentum, then you realize stuff like the multiplayer can just be so much better, because when you start, you know, thinking, how do we want to do multiplayer just for this, you realize we don't need, you know, client to client synchronization or whatever. It's just you don't need to have, you know, paid servers that are like a pain in the ass to host. You can do multiplayer really cheaply.
For free, even.
And for free, right? And
all through Steam.
Lets us do it for free. It's
with your friends, with anyone really, right? It's all through Steam.
Yeah. So in a way, I think Momentum is kind of genuinely a bit of a no-brainer. That being said, it's obviously taken an immense amount of commitment, especially from GOG, but from countless others as well, just to keep the game going, because in terms of just, you know, code and infrastructure wise, it's still a really, really big ask.
Yeah.
But it is just such an obvious continuation of these modes for me, is a game like Momentum.
Yeah, and the thing that we're trying to advertise isn't that we are the next step for servers or anything like that. I think that's left up to the players, in my opinion. We're never, ever, ever going to be like, we're better than KSF or anything like that. And now somebody's probably clipping that and sending it to KSF. But like, we're not advertising like that, because that's not the viewpoint we want to make. We love these modes just as much as the server owners love it too. We aren't making mad bank off of you playing the game, which is, you know, maybe one of the downsides of our game existing compared to private servers. But there's definitely a place for servers for people that still want that traditional experience. If they, you know, like, and that's the thing, is like, if people love what they have, they'll stick with it. But if there's something that might be better, they might go do it. and not necessarily better in the sense that like it's everything that you know and love and more. It's just it's more. it's like a it's a different approach altogether, right? Like a lot of players don't really care that they have to connect to a server. They don't care about the community aspect. So who knows? But yeah, and just not throwing everything that servers have given away. We still want to have that social aspect too. So it's like it's not trading, you know, things. We want there to be like the same but better, or perceived better. You know, the zero ping takes some time to get used to. People, I watch rocket jumpers have insane trouble syncing because it's just a different timing that they're used to, right? They're used to a slight delay with rockets, you know, getting synchronized and like them always getting syncs based on rockets' position, but in momentum it's very precise. We could look into maybe, you know, easing that a bit, but yeah, like that's what I'm talking about. Is like
just unlock net fake lag.
Oh god. Yeah, there we go. Problem solved. It's just artificially lag your game. No, it's so yeah, I don't want people to see us as like one of my fears is that when momentum comes out, that rabid fans or whatever are going to go to like KSF or other platforms and just say your platform's dead, momentum or whatever, like celebrating that we're out and like, you know, like middle fingering everyone or something. We don't want that. You know, there's definitely places for these communities to exist in momentum as well. Even if the servers that they host don't exist anymore, the communities can still gather. There are certain communities that might be a little toxic for our community guidelines, but you know, in general, we do want communities to exist and prosper on momentum. Clans, you know, dedicated lobbies that they can host for their members with similar kind of style map rotations and stuff like that. We're hopefully going to see a continuation of that.
A little point to add on to that. I mean, nowadays, like in terms of where those communities are really centralized, like I don't think it's often those specific game servers themselves anymore. Nowadays, it's mostly Discord.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
In terms of what actually really unites,
or forums,
you know, communities of people, kind of forums, but for the most part, it's Discord and Mumble and stuff. And
yeah.
I think primarily Discord, right, as a way of sort of keeping a community together. So you know,
yeah.
Like, you know, to say that like a server's going to die out just because they're not hosting, you know, like dedicated CSS servers or, you know, TF2 servers or whatever, like, you know, it's just not the case because those communities can move around much easier anyway.
Yeah. Was there any other input on what was discussed? All right. Thank you, Gravy, for asking that question. I believe we have a couple more. Yeah, we do. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Sorry, I forgot like how many we added at like last minute. You guys need to get them in earlier, but no, it's fine. We'll move on to the next question here.
Canin is asking, are there plans to allow different modes to have leaderboards for a mode's map? For example, a ton of Conc maps that can be completed in Sticky Jump.
Sorta, but not really. I think we've talked about like a game mode filter before, so we could have like a map that supports both game modes.
Yeah.
But the map would be of the game mode still. So you don't get like a really gross situation like on Tempest where, you know, every rocket jump map is ranked for Sticky Jump 2 for some reason. And, you know, yeah, it should be good for it. Ideally made for the specific game mode, but yeah. That's my thought anyways.
Yeah. It will be a case-by-case basis. Absolutely, though. I love the idea of just kind of having maps be environments. Because that's the other thing, too, with like Surf and Trick Surf. You could have Skill Surf maps be Trick Surf maps, too. Like, it depends. Obviously, it won't be as interesting, but it'll be like, I mean, it won't be as interesting as the more wide open ones where you can do crazy tricks. It's more of like maybe specific routes or something through that existing map, or like doing it backwards or something, you know, something like that.
For Trick Jump too.
We have even discussed a little bit before, like sort of trick surf maps or being sort of like fun, sort of like community places for people in lobbies to hang out, right? Of that could be like, if people were going to make those maps, they should probably do it for tricks. And I do wonder, you know, if you could just have multiple different game modes on tricks on that map.
Yeah.
That could be interesting. I don't know. But
yeah. So, yeah, in short, yes. It just depends on we don't want that gross situation like Bray was talking about, where every map is like, oh yeah, I mean, technically you could bunny hop on the spines, so it's also a bunny hop map. You know, like, we don't want that. We want it to be like, because obviously with like Conc or Sticky Jump, like, yeah, you can freaking zoom through these surf maps that have a lot of platforms that like could take, you know, these explosives, though they weren't designed for it in mind. So that's the main thing, is it designed for it in mind? There are jump maps that are absolutely, I think Carrot is one or something there, or Rush. There's
Rush. Whatever one of Pulse's maps, I forget the name.
There are some that are designed for both, and we could add the game mode filter into the mapping utility for filters, and allow you to do like toggling specific platforms from being solid, and things like that, to where, you know, the game loads the environment, applies the settings of the game mode, and then applies, you know, map filters based on that. And so like that's exciting for us, is like offering that ability, because it extends playability in the same, make one run everywhere kind of thing, Java-esque, I guess. Make one map and kind of run it across different game modes, and, you know, design it for multiple game modes in mind. And I mean, it's exciting to see what'll come out of that. Yeah, absolutely. So it just depends on the map itself and the mapper's intentions.
And you can always play it, like with the game mode override, you could always play it, get a replay, and send people replays of it, but we're talking more like a ranked leaderboard.
Yep. Exactly. That was actually exactly what I was going to say. The ranked leaderboard is the only thing that, keep in mind. So like, we could have you be able to do local runs of a game mode override on a map. So if you want to try Omnific, Sticky Jump, Air Pogo only, or whatever, right? Like, sure, why not? Just, first of all, just don't. But second of all, sure, yeah, why not? So yeah, we could do things like that. Was there any other input for this question? All right, I think this is our last question, unless there's more. One
more.
Okay, yeah.
After this,
there is one more, but this question is pretty
very serious.
Oh
yeah. I hope you're all ready for this one. Vortex wants to know, how's Momentum Man?
Oh,
he's not.
Could I take this one?
Yeah, you can. Tom's got this one.
He's dead.
Fucking spoiling the campaign. God damn it. No, yeah, he's been dead for years.
Experiment has concluded.
I think he'll officially be the death certificate is going to be the C&D that we get from Michelin.
Yes.
Oh my god. But yeah, he's dead. But you can live on in his spirit. His spirit lives on in ghosts. Yeah. So,
but how did he die? Following his footsteps.
Following his footsteps.
Momentum Man.
Oh no, not the 15 AI.
The sound in Panorama in the UI.
There you go. When you boot up the game, you get Momentum Man's lore told through 15 AI's representation of the heavy. It's great. It's a great time. The heavy can't handle it. He can't handle a copy paste, like a copy pasta that we have about Momentum Man, and it's a brilliant Easter egg, I think, idea that we have. You just see Momentum Man's death scene. It's like at the end of Half-Life 2 credits when Lamar jumps on you, you just see Momentum Man die. All right.
That's going to be the opening scene of the campaign. It's just going to be like a slow zoom out from his corpse.
Just for like 10 minutes of staring at Momentum Man, and then you get to play. Yeah, we said no cutscenes during the gameplay of the campaign, but nothing about beforehand.
That's true. They won't actually be cutscenes.
Yeah,
it'll be real.
Okay. All right, so we'll move on to the next one. Thank you, Vortex.
Our next question is actually a pretty good question. It's a very valid question. Victor is asking, when's the next update?
Very good question, actually. Yes. The next update is actually very soon. So what I'm going to be showing off today is basically like the 95% completion of like what we've been working on. We're still working on various HUD panels at the same time, so it's not everything. The next update is when we get all of these HUD panels ported over to Panorama, but very soon. So 091, the next update, like itself, probably like a week or so. I don't know. I can't be sure because we still have a lot of panels to kind of convert over. The next big one is going to be the leaderboards. So after the leaderboards, then we'll just have like a bunch of random HUD elements that we need to convert, and those range from like, oh, it's literally a static element that just shows like a string of your spectators, versus like, yeah, the speedometer and like other things like that are a little more involved. And then there's the individual like weapon things like that too. So yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be soon. I'll show you our progress towards that very soon here. There's not another question after this, right? So we can transition over. If that's the case, was there?
Nope, there's no other question.
Cool. All right. So yeah, we'll jump over to that. Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's see. So this is gameplay plus webcams. Oh no, we're missing break. There we go. All right. Turn that off, and I didn't hook up XP.
Get rid of me. I don't want to be there.
Oh, and then I'm in the debug version, so the gameplay's really, really small. So give me a sec here. Okay, cool. So now we just have a gap underneath. Don't worry about it. All right. So this is again, thank you for all of these questions. If you have any other questions, please ask us in the Discord so we can prepare beforehand. As you can see, there's some questions that had a bunch of info that we could give. So the sooner the better, because we can fill out the info. Otherwise, it's a lot of just talking and listening. So cool. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to the game. So we've been doing a little bit of Panorama work. The main menu. Oh god, it's gonna be a little broken because again, I'm like rebased on top of like 2 branches here. So
a lot of different branches.
Yeah. So we still have this guy, but you can start to see that there's like hover effects. One of the main changes that I'll talk about. One of the main things that I'll talk about here is we have moved over to Sass. So any web devs in chat, Sass is this kind of layer on top of CSS that lets you do a lot of processing of CSS. So you can have like inheritance and things like that, where it's much easier to lay out elements in their styling. So basically UI. Yeah, basically UI is very streamlined now, and that's why it's been taking a while. Oh, okay. So no inheritance. My bad. But like I guess you can, but it's not recommended.
You get nice structures. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Sass code that you're going to be able to, as a player, look through. We ship it with the game. We don't use Panorama's zip or anything like panzip. So you don't have to unzip or whatever. It's all in the base folder. It might be in a VPK later. So that's the worst that you'll have to do. But yeah. So extremely customizable. So we've been working on quite a couple of panels. So the 2 main panels that, well, first of all of the like UI in general has been kind of improved through that kind of rewriting into Sass, right? CSS to Sass. So a lot of like elements like have shadowing now because they inherently have it from our main like Sass file, and then all of the individual styles. So we'll before.
Can I just? We'd basically taken everything from CS:GO and like rethemed stuff when we wanted it rethemed.
Yes.
And I got really annoyed by finding little bits of CS:GO style stuff. So now there's none of that. It's all from scratch.
From scratch. Yep.
So, it gets compiled when you load from SAS. It's really cool. It's really, yeah.
Spin the logo. Okay, fine. But there's
SL for doing that, but
yeah. SL was the mastermind behind adding SAS support entirely. So
yes, yeah.
Absolute mega shout out
For
to
people
SL.
that start making custom HUDs, you are gonna love SL for adding that. It makes life so much easier.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess I can show one. Should I start off with the Easter egg because it's probably gonna happen the next time I
mean, you
it.
need to give it a little spin.
Yeah, I guess I will. Right? You can just give it another gentle spin, and maybe if you keep going, it could probably change. Is it random?
I can't actually get like a drag activation. You have to actually just click it.
Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. So you can change the model panel to whatever you want. So we're gonna be joined here by TF2's greatest. So just keep in mind that the code that ships with the game you can kind of mod to be whatever you want. But yeah, look at him go. Wow, he's
he's getting dizzy going in that direction. If you give it another click.
There we go. That's more fitting.
This is a heavy update, yeah.
There we go. Okay, heavy's taking a bit of a rest. So anyway, this is the heavy update. So we're making awesome progress on 1 sec. Sorry. All right. So we're making awesome progress on the main menu UI. For right now, what we're going to be looking at is the drawer panel with the lobbies. So you're going to have individual panels. We'll have a profile photo a profile section, and that's all of your stats, all of your challenges, all things like that. Leaderboards and stats, kind of looking at maybe recent runs you've done, rank points, things like that. And then also the change log. So what changed in the recent pushes. So looks like my lobby update got unknown name. That's not good, but that's okay. That just needs testing. So, what? Okay, I just refreshed and your lobby disappeared. Did you stop hosting?
I restart my game, yeah.
Gotcha.
My game is full.
So that works. Yeah, so you can create a lobby, and this pop-up comes up here. You can change what style it is, right? So public, friends only, invite only. I'll change it to public. Yeah, that's right. That change is actually coming very soon. You can change the max player count up to 250 is what we allow, but by default we'll, do 16 or something. You don't need giant lobbies, but yeah, you can go ahead and create it. The chat is still here. It's we're gonna have more chat effects around your name and stuff like that, so if you're a Momentum Mod team member, you'll have maybe something there. So it's awesome to see this UI in action here. So same kind of thing. You can click the settings in order to change the settings if you want to change, like if it, I don't actually want people joining, you can change it to invite only, things like that. You can invite anybody with the, Steam overlay. You click that, Steam overlay pops up. I don't think it'll show on OBS capture. That's okay. And then, yeah, you can leave it at any time. The other thing that we added a lot, that was really requested, is being able to browse lobbies while you're in your own. We might have a little bit more UX around, oh, hey, this is your current lobby that you're in, because I don't know, is that is it currently up top?
I've been meaning to add that, but it will give you a little, if you click on Hex's lobby and try join it, it'll give you a little check. Also, we have double click, so you don't have to actually click the join button. You can just double click anywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do it.
So you can double click, and I just did there, and it'll also join. So I'm going to go ahead and join Hex's lobby here. Looks like we got some gamers.
Oh, wow.
So you can completely chat. You can see what people are playing from the main menu. It looks like the spectate buttons are showing up for even people in main menu. All right, that's fine. Just a couple of bugs there. Also, wait, does this have overflow?
It should.
Okay, yeah. Well, if somebody else joins, we'll see that. But yeah, so you can see people typing. We have the typing stats there. A lot of this chat work has been done by BLT.
Overflow's broken.
Oh no!
This
You
is
gotta-
stuff in like the last like 2-3 days. So,
Exactly.
yeah,
So a lot of this is kind of work in progress, broken shit. So yeah, but the idea is that you can see everybody playing on their own individual maps. Our multiplayer in the game is completely asynchronous to where you can play on whatever map you want and still chat, including voice chat. We're going to be adding voice chat. Obviously not right now, otherwise you'd be hearing people. But yeah, it's very fun, and yeah, you get to chat with everybody, have some fun with them. Yeah, and so I guess we'll join those gamers. But first, we need some maps. And so what I've been working on, and I want to apologize because this is going to be pretty crude. Also, I'm going to turn off developer one.
Oh, you've not shown the little controls library yet.
Oh yeah, that's true. So another thing that we've been
can be the finale.
Yeah, true, because we'll get into gameplay with that. So good shout. So another thing that kind of helps with styling and seeing whether or not your styling makes sense is a
Yes,
okay, got some asserts there. Console is in progress as well. So every single conceivable bit of VGUI is being changed to be Panorama. We want to completely rip out VGUI entirely and never compile it again. So being able to see at a quick glance just classes that you may have, how like separate, like separators, vertical separator. Oh, there are separators. What? Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, they're themed as well now.
Oh, damn. Okay. Oh, I didn't know that. So anyway, you can see like colors at a quick glance. These are some just like Bootstrap has, if any web devs are in chat, they'll love this talk. Any classes that you can kind of use across different elements. So you can have like specific background colors, you can have specific gradients that you want, you can have specific styling for buttons, toggle buttons, you can have the classic radio buttons or the individual ones here with different background colors if you want that. It's basically, keep in mind, this is what you can do now, like you as the player. Like if you want to customize anything in the UI that we're about to like show, you can do so and use these classes, use these different like kind of
really
helper
emphasize
things.
that this is made with this. I made this whole controls library stuff and I did all the styling.
Yes.
And I did all that without engine access. So I'm not NDA'd. I don't have access to any of that stuff. And this is all stuff you can do from the files that are accessible to everyone.
Yes.
Including if you check the little pop-ups, you can see.
Oh, there we are. Yeah. So generic pop-ups. Show generic pop-up. I don't want to click the last one yet. I have shit to show. But yeah, you can.
No, it only does this page. It's only this page.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can do. Unable to invert warp or matrix. What the fuck was that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, some assert. Oh man, and then he's you can do some fun effects like
JavaScript.
What the fuck is this? It's like deep fried meme status. Holy shit. Okay, I didn't see that before. And then what's this third one? And like, oh yeah. You can change
the burger bomb.
The burger bombs and deep fried burger bombs. Oh no, which one was it? Okay, no, that's not it. That one's it. Okay, we're good.
I don't think you can undo it.
I can't undo the burgers, but
no.
The burgers are forever, but that comes with the game. I think you have to boot with developer, I think, or what did we put this behind something? I forget what
yeah, you need developer for that little button to show up.
Yep. Yeah. So keep that in mind. We'll hide it kind of out of sight, but you can still enable it pretty quickly and see how to edit stuff. So the other, I guess, main menu things, right? We still have got some more search. No, it crashed. Oh no. All right, so let me. Too many burgers. Let me reboot. So the settings page crashes. Again, we're in like a really haphazard, like rebase twice state. We would be debugging this normally, but we're going to try to showcase things that we can. So I'm going to go ahead and boot the game again. I just have to make sure I'm not leaking our code. And then we'll get going. Could also just be how I rebased. There's a lot of shit like this that's just kind of broken. But all right, so let me talk a bit about the map selector that's going to be beyond broken. Again, I apologize for the state of this. It was a little more complete before I rebased. Just needs a bit more love. I need to rebase.
Styling, really.
Yeah, it's really just styling that's kind of broken. So like these buttons,
Yeah,
the functionality should be here. So we do a couple of things. So on boot, what we do is we actually do 3 map requests. So there are maps that you have like downloaded in your library. There are maps that you have favorited, and then there's the most recent like 10, 20 maps. We do 3 requests for all of that data on boot, and it updates all of the map cache information. The way the map selector worked beforehand was more online focused. It was only populating with data from like online and stuff like that. Really awful way to kind of think about doing it. So it's been revamped. All of this data that you see on here is being cached. All of these images, there's normally an image panel in the background. It probably got lost in the rebase. We'll fix it. When you select maps, you would have the actual thumbnail and the background show up. We'll have buttons down in the bottom right that let you actually explore all of the images for a map. So a map needs a thumbnail, but it can have more than one map or more than one image representing it. In fact, it's kind of encouraged too, so people can kind of peruse what the map looks like before they actually play it. But ideally, right, people are playing the map. So just a quick thing over here. We have description, authors. We don't have tags in place yet. Maps will be tagged based on the mechanics found in them. So for example, the learn section, which isn't complete, is going to be a list of all of the different mechanics for a specific mode that you can learn. And then what we really want to do is tie it in with going to a specific map that has that mechanic in it. We think that is extremely valuable for newer players trying to be like, all right, I'm getting the hang of surf. Like, what are some maps that I should try to check out?
Yeah, a map with a ramp.
Right. What's a rampy map? And so we can put them on their way to, their ramp glory. Yeah, and so obviously it's very small here. You can see up here we have a separate section for playlists. The idea here being that you can play maps individually, or you can group them up gauntlet style. We're gonna have gauntlets. Absolutely, that's an awesome thing. We would love to have gauntlets, and we're going to have your ability to kind of just group maps however you want. They can be across game modes, they could be specific game modes. Keep in mind you still have the list of things like your favorites, right? So you can see your favorite maps at a glance here. We can have things like maps that you have downloaded, which the map cache, because I deleted it, doesn't know of maps that I have downloaded. So in general, right, we have already like a way to list maps the way you want to. You could search for maps. So if you want all of the AHOP maps, you type in AHOP, you see all of the AHOP maps. You can also click off all of these. Wow, this search bar has been absolutely neutered, actually. There's usually a cancel button and stuff. It needs some sassification. That's actually coming very soon. I need to push this to Steam so that the Tom and others can sassify this, right?
Styling is honestly like 10% of the work, probably.
Yes.
Like there's the amount of functionality like the GOG has implemented has been like a mammoth task. Styling everything is actually relatively easy.
Yeah.
So making it actually look good is like remarkably close.
And so, there are certain subcategories too. So, we also don't have the drop down. There's also the way to sort them. A lot of stuff is missing. Again, this is just really haphazard. The next Q&A stream, I promise, will be all of the Panorama UI. We are making excellent progress. So it's not that it's undone. It's just I rebased and now everything fucking fell apart. So it's there. It's just hidden, or it doesn't have a width.
Why the stream was slightly late, was Conc trying to get the
rebasing everything and just desperately trying. Yeah. So
posted videos of it before, didn't you?
Yeah.
In our Discord.
There are some Discord videos. So something to keep in mind here is that our API, right, is very sacred, and that, a lot of map information that you're getting from us is pretty much final, right? Ranked released maps are pretty much final. The only data that really changes is stuff like PBs, world records, top 10, whatever, right? The leaderboards, and maybe and stats, right? Number of completions, things like that. that data can actually be a separate request when you actually select the map. So what we can actually do is like, we can just get generic information from the map, like pool, and then just kind of stream in the data that as you need it. So like all of these maps, if I never clicked on them, would only show me the thumbnail scaled down, you know, like the name of it, the tier, whether or not I favorited it, if I have it downloaded, things like that. But until you click on it, it'll do that extra request to get that information. The idea that I was trying to convey earlier was the map selector is going to be focusing on your local data first. So even if you don't connect to our website, you have all of this information already, right? All of these images are downloaded into a local cache folder. All of the maps obviously are downloaded locally. We're going to be updating the zones to download locally as well. Obviously, right, like we can't prevent people editing zones, but for the most part, we can check to see, hey, has it been edited locally, and just like re-download if so, if they were updated, right? That's the same logic there. So the green, by the way, this green is if you've completed it. You can hover over the flag here. We might get rid of the green. The green's a little much, but the flag will stay, and that shows that you have completed, and here's your personal best. And then you can click on the map too in the bottom right here. PR, it's the same, right? So at a quick glance, you can see, oh yeah, okay, my PB is there. We could add maybe a globe or something here for the world record, so you can see things from a glance just by hovering. Yeah, it is a little more compact. It's more, you know, we very much want you to click on the map and get more information about it. The old map selector was like, here's a bunch of like stats, here's the world record, here's like date release and everything. Like we kind of want you to be able to search for that information, but also like see it by clicking and selecting the map. So yeah, that's cool. So you can filter by completed maps here as well, things like that. And then the other thing to keep in mind is that this list, by the time we have thousands of maps, right, it would be really inefficient if we had all of the maps listed at once. So this list actually dynamically loads, and you can see it as you scroll through. It dynamically loads all of this information in. So even if, you know, you first start the game, you aren't getting like terabytes of data streamed over to you or something like that. Yeah, so I guess a couple of other things. The images are also cached locally, and so it uses like the file-based version, so we aren't hitting our API a ton, ideally, right? So images aren't really going to change after our map's been released, so we can do that. And then, yeah, I guess let's go ahead and look at our lobby that we're, oh, that's right, I crashed. Our lobby that we're in. Let's find a map. Let's find a gamer. It looks like Shigetsu is running SJ Aurora. So let's go ahead and search for that. It looks like I already have it. So another thing too is that to get more maps, I guess Bray is also here too. Shek wasn't ready. Yeah, so to get more maps, we have to make it so that we're not spamming the shit out of our API, right? We don't want our site to go down because people are just like typing in the search. So you do actually have to search for maps. The way we're going to be reformatting the back, you know, this requires web work, is
every time someone joins the chat,
it just gets smaller. We're not going to be able to watch the chat from this drawer panel. But yeah, so every time you actually want more maps, you're going to actually have to search for them. So as you saw, I just hit enter there, and now I do have more maps loading in here. And that does a search for it, brings in the information, adds it, dynamically. And once it's in your cache, it's there, right? You could disconnect right now. You could disconnect in the future. It's going to be there. You'll have the zones. You'll have the map. You'll have the info, but it'll be outdated, right? All of that info and stuff will be outdated, and runs will not submit if you're offline, right? You'll start up the map. Will be like, hey, you're not connected. It's not going to submit. Keep that in mind. But you can still play, and the zones will be there. You can still get a run, but it'll only save locally. So, oh god, it's gone. Yeah, the chat is demolished. All right.
I can't even tell why that's happening.
So yeah, so downloading maps is one simple click on the download button here. If you already have the map, yeah, the progress bar, again, all of the styling, that's all that's broken here. It's actually downloading, it's just the styling's messed up.
It's my fault.
It is a one-click download. that was something else I wanted to change. There was the confusing library system that we had in the last one, where you would have to add the map to the library in order to actually then play it and download it and play it. So streamlined all of it. Basically, once you click download, it gets added to your library or your what was that? Was it dividing my zero again? Damn it. Anyway, yeah. So there's it's way more streamlined. You can basically just click on the single map that you want to play. If you already have it, it'll just refresh it, right? You already had it. It'll mark it as playable. So if you do have to delete your cache, all you have to do is just click the download button again to play it. You can click on the button over here as well. It shows a beautiful progress bar normally, but yeah, so it's a little scuffed right now. But we'll go ahead and go into Aurora. Hopefully is this image broken too? No, it's not. Okay, there we go. So this is the loading screen here. I hit insert because I'm on debug. It's kind of how this goes. There's the trick list, by the way, that needs to convert. It just says hello for a very brief amount of time, but we can start to show more of the HUD here. Oh yay, nice. Okay, it's A1 and A2.
Launch when map is not downloaded. What do you mean? It wouldn't.
Oh, gotcha. So like if you double click this. Yeah, we could, yeah.
We have double click events, which is really nice. A
Yeah.
lot of stuff is going to be double clickable.
Yeah.
So, like instead of having to like click some really specific button, you just double click a larger panel and.
Looks like the the end panels are a little busted right now too. Doesn't show name unless hold on. Is it Mom Hunt Ghost? End panels. Avatars, yeah, names enable is there. So again, probably just a problem with the rebase. It's gonna be way better, but and then I'm gonna turn off developer again, just because. Yeah. All right. So yeah, we've updated the key press display to probably say A1 now, and then yeah, this is the new sticky jump HUD. Very simplified compared to the old VGUI style. A lot of this UI has been very, very fun. Oh, I'm also in mapping mode. Oh no, I can't do a run. But yeah, what else have we done? There was the Conc timer, I believe, too. So yeah, yeah. So that's what we're currently doing. So we're currently working on HUD timer, speedometer, the info status, where your map is, what checkpoint you're on, things like that. Yeah, we're getting there. Sync bar is also going to be eventually there. Just every single HUD element we're going to be working on. Yeah, and so I guess, yeah, just to see lobby stuff. Oh my God. You're in the lobby twice, Tom. What the fuck? Okay, so...
I'm on 2 different clients.
Oh.
One is in the main menu, one of them's on Aurora.
I didn't know we supported that. Oh, that's interesting. I guess if you both join the map, it crashes, because or it won't know how to handle it. It'll just update one, I think.
I have no idea.
But yeah, so... Oh, wait, no. I saw the name panel for... Wait, so is it just the trace? Is it just offset?
You have to look at somebody, at their model.
Yeah, I'm looking at them. It's not working. Dang! All right, that's just part of that rebasing. But it showed up one time. I don't...
Dogathan flying around.
Yeah, just Dogathan. It normally centers over the ghost. This is, yeah, again, just like some faff with rebasing here, but
the sticky speed and the charge meter is a really nice addition.
Yes, so you can actually see the speed that the sticky is going to fire by toggling that on.
Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah, I'm just a dirty tripler. I can't even do it. All right, whatever. Aurora is a little bit of a difficult map for me to actually do, so... Wait, it only needs a double? Okay, well, whatever. Let's see if... Can I beat it? I don't know. Can I beat the map? Oh, this one... Yeah, this is like an air double. I'm trying to find like a disabled zone so you can see the disabled state. It's just red.
That's the start. That's the spawn.
No. Sorry, that's the bar. I meant the meter too, or not the meter. The individual stickies also show the state. If you shoot into something that's going to fizzle it, it'll show you on your HUD as well. That's also been in the VGUI one. Again, we're porting like 1-to-1. We're not adding any features quite yet. Some kind of minor grievances could be kind of tackled, but for the most part, we're just kind of porting to get the functionality there. 0.9.2 and onwards can kind of be more of the like features and stuff that we want to add. As
The HUD looks good now, Oslo, but like when everything's done, it's going to look so much better. And because it's Panorama, it will look better than like a custom HUD in VGUI ever could. Because like our text rendering is just so much nicer. We have drop shadows and just it's so much nicer.
Yeah. And I guess something I should note is we also have Panorama crosshair, and also we can use the CS:GO style of like when you spectate somebody, you see their crosshair, and then you can also download it. We're gonna add that, but that's again right now 1-to-1 porting, getting all of the panels in place, looking good, and then from there we can decide to kind of expand upon the individual elements. So. Yeah, if you like somebody's crosshair, you can just spectate them and get it. Yeah. Speaking of spectating, let's see if this works. So I'm going to spectate break. Hey, it does work. Let's go.
Yeah, then the VGUI spec UI will then break stuff.
So it doesn't want to close. That's interesting.
Yeah, the spec HUD is... There's VGUI spec HUD. There's like...
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see.
It's a bit annoying.
Yeah. But the other aspect too, you can see the spectate HUD. We're going to be changing this to show more about the player. So their player card, the things that you can customize, right? Their player card, maybe their stats. We could show some stuff there. You know, what level they are, what their PB is on the map. We can show you stuff like that. Just at a quick glance. And you can see we do network stickies. We don't network the state of the stickies though. But that actually should work. The sticky HUD should be working right now. It doesn't. Huh. Like it uses the ghost end. It should be using the ghost end.
There's like weapon stuff you have to get, which you can't get from the ghost.
That's true. That is very true. Very, very true.
It should just be the count, not like the charge though.
Yeah, yeah. So there's some state we got to network still, but as you can see, basically all these players are. Shag's just chilling. All these players are just going at various stages. We'll synchronize your HUD as well, except for if you join in progress. I don't think we're going to be able to accurately synchronize that unless we did synchronize multiplayer. But yeah, so. Pretty fun. Pretty fun. Trying to think. So this is like a lot of the work that's been done. The Conc meter, I think, is the only other one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the enemy panels for.
You've shown key press, right?
Yep. Key press on the bottom right. Yeah.
There's a lot of little HUD things to do still. But...
Yeah. It's like this is.
I can't beat fucking stage 3.
Oh, I wonder if you reversing the whatchamacallit order.
Yeah.
Was affecting the ghost entity panel actually. The event order.
Maybe. Does something return true when it handles?
Well. Yeah. Okay. I'm on debug build right now. Okay. Well. I get between 15 and 30 or 60 FPS.
Yeah, classic debug build. Because yeah, the woes of debug build, it inserts a bunch of assert level checks and stuff. The optimized release build is obviously going to perform much better than the build I'm on and Bray's on right now. We have to use this for debugging stuff though, so that's why we yeah. That's why I'm on it right now. Plus, it's work in progress code. There's not a release build yet. But yeah.
We will have updates on Steam pretty soon, right?
Yes. I'm gonna push one this weekend. Gonna push one this weekend. It's not 091. It's getting the map selector in place so that people can start to mess around with it, but also so that we can start to style it. Yeah.
That's gonna be fun. I'm going to just spend a week just doing that. I'll have so much fun.
The lag, oh my goodness. Yeah, low FPS. Again, we want to maximize FPS for people. So playing on debug is kind of like a, we want to try to optimize debug, but you kind of can't because it's just like it compiles so much more information into the game, into the binaries of the game.
Can I just say that the entire time I've been playing Sticky Jump, I've not been using crouch. I've just noticed.
Yeah, you
I
don't want
haven't.
that.
I haven't been crouching at all.
Oh, good old assert there. But yeah, I think we still have the interpolation issue too. Of when you go too fast, it starts to be a little chunky. Which is actually, I think, more of a bug of how it transmits velocity. I forget. There's some stuff that we gotta do for online. But it works. It works.
Are you conking, Hex?
Yes. This is basically.
Does this spawn a conch? I forget.
It should. It should spawn like.
Yeah, there they are. Oh, there's the entity panels. Let's go. Those work. After, yeah, they're working.
Oh yeah.
We could go to a conch map instead.
This jump might be a little pink.
Yeah, this is.
Does it show?
Oh.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now you have a strat. No, it doesn't show the meter. No, because we're not in conch. I think that's one of the checks for the HUD.
It should show the meter.
Oh, even in like another game mode.
Oh, I guess not, cause it doesn't know like what weapon you have out, like the ghost.
Yeah, that's the we want a network weapon state. Edge bug to save your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other couple of exciting things. This build no longer has any wall bugs. Ildprut, the madman himself, fixed them.
Amazing.
So we have no wall bugs whatsoever. It's an engine related fix, so it's across every game mode. And we're not gonna make it game mode specific. We'll have like mapper mechanics for if people want wall bugs, we can have some like sticky trigger or whatever of like sticking the player or whatever. I don't know. Like there's ways to do it. Will he make it? Oh no. So close. But yeah, this is in throwback to one of the, I think, Canin or Canine, Canyon. Their question there of, maps that could be played in other modes, right? So obviously we don't want players to be doing this because it's not designed for Conc in mind, but you can, as Hex is very clearly showing.
All the time when we're in a lobby together, inevitably someone starts
Kanin,
playing the
that's
map
right.
Everyone's on
Yeah.
in a different mode.
And
Apologies.
someone is usually Hex, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I like to parkour this stuff.
Yeah. So, was there anything else we should show? I forget. Because it is rolling up on the 3-hour mark, and
I think there's all that much because we're sort of.
Yeah, just the conch timer, really. Which
Yeah.
is exactly the same as like the key jump.
Yeah, let's use the map selector to get a new map here. So let's search for conch.
Show it.
Let's go to let's go to Speed Whip. Speed Whip's
So in a month from now, we'll hopefully be sort of showing pretty close to finished Panorama everything, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 091 is going to be probably released beforehand, but yeah, so So you can see the timer left on or displaying on the conch, and then when you throw it, it's counting down the time left. This is also, visible through walls. It also shows up at full opacity for ghosts, which is interesting. It might be a little distracting. We might make it not full opacity. But yeah, so this is how Panorama and panels look for the conch grenades, which I guess you were seeing a little bit of with Hex's previous gameplay. But I'm gonna try to get as far as I can with it. No, wait. No, I can't actually. All right, it sucked.
What's it? What AA does conch have?
15? 15, yeah. It's dynamic though, so it's Ooh, shit! I almost made it.
Based on, like.
Oh yeah,
It's supposed to be 12.
No, it's direction. So if you're going forwards, it's 15, back or something like that, where it's like if you tap backwards, you go. It's actually lower.
Yeah, for S
That's
it's
crazy.
10, and for everything else, like A and E strafing or whatever, I believe it's 12, but it might be 15.
Yeah.
I don't know. People.
Oh,
That's insane.
that's probably why. Yeah, I was like really confused, like how fast you can stop, even though it's like higher AA,
Yeah.
or like how slower, like S, like you can tap S, or like.
Oh, so close.
I'm genuinely
precisely.
better at Conc than Sticky Jump.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Right.
I'm pretty bad at both.
But that's the goal. Oh fuck, that was so close.
Conc has a more smooth learning curve.
Oh wait, no, that's not gonna work.
Yes, yeah, that's correct.
Yes. Yeah, SJ's like, all right, you know how to double.
Go
All right,
fly
double pre. All right, here's air pogo. Here's, like it turns into this like fucking 3 million IQ game mode that you have to like, all these different variables you have to like keep in mind. Damn, I am bad at timing this.
That's what
We
Conc
added
feels like to me.
though, right?
What was that?
It's like a mapping mode comp. I remember we added
Yeah.
some sort of like movement C-bar. Is that it?
It's a mapping node combo, yeah. SV air decelerate.
Yeah, air decelerate. Yep. So you can actually change it per game mode if you'd like to have Conc's prowess. I think there was discussion on whether or not jump mode should have the similar thing of like a higher, like SJ, RJ with higher forward air excel. But if you're trying to stop, you at least get, the lower air excel so you can slow down as opposed to instant stop. Because that's a pretty big issue. Damn, I'm landing in the water when it explodes. How am I that unlucky?
This is a lot
Oh
more
my-
than just dropping it in the air. Like you should
True.
walk for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Walk off at 2 seconds and then
Yeah.
drop it after you get a little bit down.
Dude, stop
The strats.
tryharding.
We got the strategies. I'm gonna. Oh, okay. I got it.
But I kind of wait
Oh,
to see
so
custom
close.
models for like conks and stuff. That's
Yeah.
gonna just be fun. Like I want the bug bait conk so badly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the bug baits. Yeah.
Alright, do what you're
Ooh.
doing, dog, but straight from
There
front
we
of it. Yeah.
Got it. First try. We also have auto jumping because
Handheld this one.
yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
The strafe.
But I'm gonna double it because I'm a god. All right. Anyway, it's really fun to just learn the modes and just be better at all of them. Like, it's just awesome. Oh no! I went backwards. Oh, I'm so close. I'm gonna do it first try. Yeah, it's very fun. The game is very fun. You guys are just gonna have a ball with it. Get it? Because the conch is. Never mind. Oh,
Oh, so clever.
thank you.
Thanks.
I spent all night coming up with that one, so I really appreciate it, guys. Makes me feel good. All right. Here we go. No, wait. Yes, because there's no trigger. Let's
I can't
go.
beat stage 4 of this. I made this. Obviously, it's not actually my map, but like,
Yeah,
I
there's
aligned all of these brushes.
definitely a real
pass.
muscle memory problem of like
Deborah?
if you don't
Exactly.
if you don't play it, you're gonna lose it, right? Like, and that's the thing. That's part of the temporal task is like we kind of want you to keep trying every mode. Like, obviously, if you learn it and then don't ever play it, you're gonna get back to like worse than you were before. Also, this is not the way. I think you go down and then cook
Throw one
another.
into the pit and then hold one as one.
Yeah,
left.
there we go.
Forward.
Oh, damn it! I did not let go in time.
The light part of that gradient isn't super readable on the bars. for Conc.
Correct. Yeah, we're gonna probably style these more in the future. Damn, that was
I
actually.
want to have a little finger around with them.
Yeah.
That's why I said it like that.
After the first
Finger around.
Gotta drop your namesake in there.
Yeah. One of the nice things about doing the styling stuff is I do get to like other people will like do all the hard work doing the functionality, and then I like sneak in and do these little tweaks with the styling.
That still worked though. Oh, why did I let that go? God damn it.
Oh yeah, but it's very fun and like I don't know. I don't want to like ever take credit for like the chat and like draw and stuff, that's all BLT doing. Like the fact that BLT joined the team and then it's like within the last like months was doing like vital stuff in Panorama, like really useful work. Like getting the draw panel and chat in, you know, on console. So useful.
Doc, strafe as soon as the first one hits you. And turn around and
yeah, there we go. Handheld it.
There you go. What a beast. Holy shit.
It's almost like
what can I say? I'm a god.
Games.
Oh shit. Alright, well this one sucks. I don't know how to do the like setup there.
The other night me and Gok played a round of deathmatch in CSGO. And I don't know when Gok had last played CSGO, but he had like twice my score. I was furious. It's actually surprisingly good at computer games.
That's too much. I need to do.
I think if you're falling, you can just drop around 200 safely, like a lot of the time, honestly.
Yeah.
I think Half-Life and CS:GO are basically the same game.
Pretty much,
So
yeah. If you can aim like a Half-Life 2 SMG, you know, you've got the recoil patterns down for pretty much everything.
Yeah, I'm nowhere close to the skill level of like Maxim. If you guys want to see Conc, when Maxim gets back, oh my god.
A lot of the Conkers like blow my mind. But...
yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing players like Maxim play a bunch of stuff because Maxim is just one of those people who just has like
momentum man,
incredibly good movement. He is a momentum man. One of
the fabled momentum man.
Children of momentum. One of the momentum men. Momentum's merry men. I don't know. But yeah, I think Barbie has a pretty good time on this actually.
Barbie has the world record.
Yeah. I don't know Smash very well actually, so.
Oh, the leaderboards are they're a little scuffed in this ranch. You get your local time and that's it. Fuck. Yeah. All right. We gotta have some fun with rewriting that.
At least we got the time reveal for the Conc neck.
Yeah.
I really like our mock-ups for the leaderboards. It's actually probably my favorite mock-up.
Damn.
So it's super clean. So that's gonna be really fun. Getting that in.
I suck. All right. Well, I mean, I'm good with calling it there. I think we've shown a lot of great stuff. I think, you know, I'm hungry and, you know, need to eat. I'm also very raspy now. I'm like Elder Goknak. So.
Yeah. We've also had a meeting today already.
Oh, you can only do it with one. Let's go. All right.
Yeah, lots of talking today.
Yeah. Oh, so close. Well, I'll call it there. It's always fun to show some Conc. Conc and A-Hop. I mean, I did A-Hop in the last one. We'll do A-Hop next time. Cool. So let's go ahead and prep for rating. Is there anyone streaming Momentum Mod currently? Le Funny is doing some jumping.
Ooh.
I was gone for a bit. Did you happen to show a mock-up of the map selector since it was fucked?
No. We did in the I think the previous one where we set it as the image background. That was a fun time.
It'll be good. It's all functional now, right? But next stream you'll see it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be genuinely like people are gonna get really excited, I think, by how good it's gonna look.
Yeah.
Because our mock-ups look awesome. And I think it's going to actually look better than the mock-ups because it's just like more consistent and
Ooh, people are going to be partying and chanting in the streets for Momentum.
It's going to there's going to be riots. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and raid the funny. They're streaming the game, so thank you all so much for asking questions, sticking around, watching our progress. It's fun to show it off, see your guys' reactions, show that the project is very much alive, very, very still alive and kicking. But yeah, we'll call it there. Thank you all so much for watching. Catch you in the next one, or maybe a stream sooner than that. We do want to use this channel more. So yeah,
we could do a styling stream.
There you go. So maybe soon. But yeah, go and enjoy LeFunny or LeFunny. Anyway, catch you all in the next stream. Take care.
I just wave with both hands. Who does that?